Good day, everyone. Welcome to another Survivors of Hyrule match. Today we have the quarterfinals, Tam versus Fear Agent. Thank you so much. I want to give a big thanks to our volunteers who were able to make this happen today. Today, tracking, we have Arya Stark. Thank you so much for tracking. And on comms, we have Clear Mouse and Werfjig. How are you two doing today?
Doing awesome. Thank you so much. I am super looking forward to this match for Survivors of Hyrule. Yes, it's really it's actually a really fun, exciting team event, and Werfjig here may or may not have some investment in the results of this match. How's it
Tam
going,
needs
Werf?
to win. Tam needs to win.
Um,
No, I'm just looking for a fun game to watch.
Oh yeah, I don't know for sure. I mean, so certainly, yes, like we certainly will do our best to keep, some non-biased commentary here. But I think it's also really fun to have teammates commentating for each other. Actually get some of that insider info. I actually do believe that you've actually Zelda'd with Tam for quite some time, haven't you, Worf? Like over the course of.
Yeah, we started playing competitively together. I think with actually Fear's League. Starting in season 2 or 3, I don't quite remember.
Oh wow, we're on season like 7 now for League.
yeah, it's been quite a while, but I haven't been part of that. But Tam's been going strong. Tam actually made it to the finals last season before ultimately losing to Infinity and Bagog.
Actually, it was actually really exciting finals. Yeah, and Tam has been very, very active. Certainly as well as Fear. In Rando, probably throughout the last couple years. I know Tam's also been doing more glitch stuff. Hopefully, there will be no major-ish glitches showing up here. It is just regular, no glitches allowed. Minor glitches are permitted, not necessarily required, of course, for anyone to beat the game. But I'm sure Tam knows how to keep things separate.
Yeah, I don't know how they do it, but yeah, they can just turn it on and off.
Yeah, and of course, Fear, as you mentioned, probably one of the most prolific, members, of course, of the random community. Started a lot of major things. League was one of them. He had 216 podcasts that has interviewed many members across like the random community. You really got some good insight. So really, and I don't actually know if this is like the first time that they played each other. It feels like it could be. Also feels like it could not be. Just by how long they've been in the community for so long.
I feel like they're both such seasoned runners that surely they would have had to meet up at some point.
And then I don't know, but you certainly I remember I think maybe even like last year or something at like SGL is like you see people who've been around the community for like 4 or 5 years like they just like never played each other. By the way, we're starting this race here. I've already seen that. We've already got some early diversions between Tam and Fear Agent. I am actually quite surprised that Tam's skipping out Eastern Palace. I actually thought that Tam was a was an Eastern Palace dipper.
Yeah, I'm on that camp as well, but I trust my teammate. My life is in their hands.
Yeah, and honestly, and because it's so early, innocent Kakariko, I can certainly very much understand. I don't understand Arm's reaction though. However, that emote, I just see a bunch of like black squares. Don't adjust your TV screens.
We'll see how far Fear goes in here. I think it's a pretty common play to just do like a little micro dip, just to come in here, check the right side of Eastern, and then dip out, come back later. It's early enough in the seed that I would be. Oh. No, we're gonna see the whole thing.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. It's certainly actually very reasonable, and I think it can go both ways, right? As you mentioned. So to answer your question real quick in chat, yes, this is cross key, so entrance, key sanity, everything is shuffled, and especially when you kind of don't really know where things are, like just to be able to take the early investment into Eastern. If it has something, great. If it doesn't have something, it's super early, right? I mean, it's literally within like 2 minutes, of the game. So like, there's plenty of time in order to make up anything that may or may not happen Eastern.
Yeah, the cross keys races are not decided in the first 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
The game is broad enough. It's not linear enough to really give someone that much of an advantage just from early play.
No, I definitely agree. And in fact, I mean, like the decisions when you make, in this case, like coin flip decisions, will certainly have an impact on the rest of the race. However, though, as you mentioned, it's not going to be ever just like one thing. It's very easy to point to the one thing that may, stick out to you. But however, it's definitely not that one thing. Like, especially the end is like, I lost by 3 seconds. It's like, oh, if I only, landed a silver arrow earlier, then I would have won, right? Well, it's like, you could have made up 3 seconds at any other point in the race, right? It doesn't have to be the very end. It just happens to be, that was the one that you kind of remember because it's the most, most recent.
One of the popular ones is always who finds the boots first. So Tam finding the back of Turtle Rock, it's a nice easy 4 checks. Unfortunately, that beetle's gonna give him a little trouble, but we're gonna go ahead and reset the room. And unfortunately for Fear Agent, the Eastern dip did not pay out. In the meantime, Tam did find the bomb shop at Potion Shop, and we found out that our red crystals were Eastern and Tower of Hera.
Okay, all right, that's also very good knowledge. Early prize knowledge, especially for the 5-6 crystals. Obviously, 2 things that in this case you have to go do. And of course, Eastern Palace being one, we're gonna have to go find the bow and the Eastern Palace big key.
And it's good knowledge to know, like, typically when I'm playing cross keys, I don't even start thinking about what I need for grow mode until about an hour in. That's me. But we already know now that we might not need the Hera big key, so that's potentially one item that we can cross off our list.
That's true. Right. So like logically, you are certainly expected to go find it, climb the tower the traditional way, with like stairs and rooms and such things like that. And we didn't find the hook shot though. There's a very common one to kind of bypass that to begin with. However, though, that being said, Hera pot can also come back and bite you if something is in the Hera big chest. That has often burned people before.
Yeah.
But like right now though is really just because you just want to try and beat the game as fast as you can, and you don't probably get burned more often than not, right? That's why people Hera pot. So.
Fear's coming in, checking these the drop downs. We're probably gonna see him take that drop down rather than peek the item. Drop downs early in cross keys are great, particularly because there's one nice 5-item cave, the Kakariko well.
Yeah, the well is right. The well is really nice. As you mentioned, 5 items. Super high dense, just in terms of like checks per time unit, CPH, checks per hour, such things like that. Really glad to see actually both Tam and Fear found the upgrade fairy pretty early, and thank you Eastern Palace. We had we got 120 rupees out of there, and on Fear's route, and so we were able to buy bombs. And whenever you in this case stumble upon the well, one of the kind of like the worst early game feelings is like you counter there and then you don't have a bomb to get like the last item, and then you have no idea where you're gonna go back. And if there's a mirror back there, kind of sad that you go back there like 30 minutes later.
Yeah, because it's really hard to justify going back just for a single check, particularly if it's somewhere out of the way, like I don't know, like Lost Woods, I guess in this case. Most out of the way drop down is with this particular Sank location, which, by the way, I'm a huge fan of Sank in Kakariko. It's instant access to a ton of different options. It makes you feel really good about taking any connectors that are in Kakariko.
Oh yeah, no, that's definitely true. Like the fact that like all roads lead to Rome or Kakariko, I guess. Suddenly I think probably in the in the earlier days of cross keys when it first kind of became developed, so many people I think, oh my gosh, okay, Tam has found like a million things here in Blindside. Found a flute, found a hammer. Good thing we have a bomb.
You see where this location was, by the way?
We are going to find out together as soon as Tam leaves the blind set. Oh, which is in the Bobble Hut. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, it's right there in Kakariko. So, even though Tam is first to that, I can't imagine that Fear will put that off very long.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Yeah, I was even gonna say, like, even if you didn't have, like, okay, right, Sank and Kakariko makes things super convenient, right? Like, that's kind of like really nice. And even if Sank weren't in Kakariko, I mean, eventually, right? Like, people will probably make their way eventually over Kakariko, but it is just much more convenient, as you mentioned, right? Like, whenever you take a connector out somewhere, you're just like, well, do I enter my current path? Because I don't really know when the next time I'm gonna get back to, or do I take this connector, right? And go somewhere where I don't know where I'm gonna get spit out, right? So like that kind of decision can certainly make a big difference, and can maybe you go left versus right and you miss some important item, for 15-20 minutes. But here in Kakariko, like the risk is much more mitigated because you could just come straight back.
Yep. Yeah, it's very forgiving, I guess is the good term for it.
Yeah, no, super nice. Yeah, and the fact that we do have a flute, at least Tam's gonna be, as you mentioned, the first one, gonna be activating it. Flute in any mode of entrance, whether it's inverted entrance, regular entrance, insanity entrance. Like it's certainly, especially this early, is gonna be a huge time saver. You can pretty much just walk, to or flute to any part of the light world or dark world if you're playing inverted, and really just save you on travel.
Yeah, and I think in particular, fluting up to get that to the mountain. There's another dense area.
Right. It actually does open up things. Yeah, in entrance. Yeah.
And it also opens up potentially out of logic because we don't have our lamp. But finding that old man save and getting an extra save and quit point does wonders for mobility early in this.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, talk about actually like different, starting points, right? Link's house is always fixed in cross keys. Sanctuary can, be one of the I guess like 8 available drop downs, including vanilla. Something can be like in the well, and then you have a third save and quit point, which again, like if you don't have a flute, if you don't have like convenient connectors, sometimes that third save and quit point can be like very convenient, to be able to help you get around places.
Yeah, there's no better feeling than getting burned by a 50-50 routing decision and then saving quitting to old man and seeing that it puts you right back at the start.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it's
bail you out for sure.
Yeah, it's actually really nice too. Yeah, as you mentioned, because again with with connectors, like things just are less predictable, right? Connectors, you don't know where they're going to lead. That's part of the fun and puzzle part of cross keys, is that you get to instead of your typical pearl, glove, hammer, or like mitts, access to try and get to Dark World, a connector take you there immediately. You can go through 10 different, like a chain of 5 connectors. This tunnel goes to here. It's great.
We found our Hera. That's fun.
It's true. That's actually pretty close. Yeah.
It's nice and close. No need to. We don't have any way to get to Moldorm so far, so we're just gonna go ahead and move along, continue clearing out Kakariko.
Now, I don't know if you would be too suspicious, by the way, of like Eastern and Hera, because like we did find out that they were 5-6. Not necessarily like the knowledge itself is like logical, that they're required, but like also like we just found the 2 red crystal dungeons.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I didn't even think of that, so I guess I wouldn't be suspicious of it, but maybe I should be. It is certainly. Given their location, their ease, and where Bomb Shop is, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a pyramid check, sort of a pyramid fairy check rather, roped in with the pyramid, and maybe the top of the castle tower as well.
Yeah, that would be super nice. Yeah, and part of also cross keys is you're trying to do things the most efficiently, doing like all the Dark World stuff with like pyramid, and pyramid fairy together. That would be swell. With castle tower, that just means that we're gonna go find a mirror. We'll come back, immediately, right? That would be super good.
And this flute right now is paying off dividends for Tam, because they just fluted to the dam area and found a connector with 2 two different exits. So this is one of those situations where you don't really get punished for taking the connector.
Yeah, right. And like a flute, I don't want to say it's like considered like another like reset point per se. As kind of like you can always save and quit to the old man or your house or a Sank or something like that. But like it can also kind of anchor you back to at least one of the 8 flute spots, right? You leave somewhere, you can kind of go back to like an intermediate point, just so like again you're not going to be as punished. Speaking of punished, oh my gosh, Tam!
No.
Oh no.
This is where the
wait.
goes.
Well, so we don't need that connector. I'm sure it didn't lead anywhere useful. Don't worry. It's not important. That
And
is.
if it was important, you know, it's not hard to get back to.
Exactly. See, we have a flute. You know, we have a Sank start in CAC. You know, did we rescue Old Man yet? I didn't see. Probably.
No, I don't believe we've seen anything on the map.
Okay.
I guess the only real downside to taking connectors this early in the seed is the potential to be completely locked out of it. So right now we have no glove, we have no boots. So there are several locations where we'll walk out and we'll have no way to get back in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Like,
and right, and not only to mention, of course, like that. So that's like world connectors too. And for Dark World, we don't have a pearl. So like, all of a sudden you come out of like, you come out of something and you can't even get back there because you're a bunny and you can't do anything. Speaking of glove, well, we can also now go to other parts in like World. How does Ice Rock Cave area look for you?
Oh, we just got that glove? Oh,
Yeah.
I typically like it. It's Ice Rod Cave area and sort of the M path from Dam towards Desert that I also like.
What is
the only
M path?
I call it like M Cave and M Rock, but if you were to go left from the dam on the way towards Desert, there's a liftable rock as well as an open cave.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I've heard it called like M Rock, but yeah, the only thing against Ice Rod Cave would be say being able to find Dark Shopping Mall and come here with a mirror, but that is
good point. I did, that's right. Actually, we're speaking of potentially with the mirror, or well, so Tam has found mini Moldorm caves. This is gonna be another high value 5-item cave. Good thing, by the way, we bought the bomb upgrade because these don't have to be very cooperative with you whatsoever.
It's a lot easier to kill them with bombs than it is with hammer.
Yeah, oh for sure. And
Especially
somehow,
especially on 2 hearts, yeah.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, and somehow, for some reason, it's always easier to kill them when you have like 15 bombs or like 10 bombs in your inventory, even though you take 2 or 3 versus you just have like 4 or like 3 bombs, you know? It always works out that way somehow.
Mm-hmm. I particularly get in my own head if I have a low count. It looks like we're gonna see another connector from Tam. Super Bunny. There's gonna be 2 items as well.
Yeah, unfortunately, look, Tam's even gonna try the bomb jump over. It's pretty nice. I did notice that before, Tam is very well versed in many modes, as kind of mentioned, glitched or not. For better or for worse, I think Tam is actually pretty competent swordless, and and so kind of be able to see them, be able to line up, bomb jumps and such things that, like without a hammer or without a sword, even is actually pretty good.
Yeah, Tam had a swordless stint for a while. So I would say they're pretty good.
I understand.
Yeah.
Well, one of the most a survivor is swordless, so I think I've also seen Tam at some point. I think maybe it was during the Rumble stage or something. Tam was playing Bumaga, and they both went into Swamp Palace without the hammer because you can now with the Specky Cliff. But did you know that Argus is not an easy fight without a hammer?
I learned it after that race.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Can you remind me what Tam used to kill Argus in that situation?
I think it was bombs. It was like hooking through bombs. Maybe there was like a fire rod shot or 2 at the end to kind of clean things up a bit, but I think it was primarily just like bombs. I don't think there was anything else that they really had to their name.
Another high value item on Tam's side. It looks like the Super Bunny connector spit him out on East Death Mountain, which is not accessible with that flute. And they just ran into that Swamp Small Key, which, if Swamp is required, is one of those items that's potentially sort of like an ice rod. We have found Swamp. I don't believe we found Dam yet. Obviously we don't have our flippers, but
right.
If we're thinking with our like worst case scenario brain, then
you mean regular rando? I understand.
Regular
Continue.
rando.
Yes.
I'm already sweating a potential hookless swamp dip.
Oh well, I mean, that's what the part of the fun of rando is. You see, Tam very well versed with that hammer, being able to just kind of take down the 2 very fast Lucane Bolt guards. I think is what they're called in the spoiler log, with 1 hammer hit, very well timed.
I didn't know, were they actually called that in the spoiler log?
Yeah, like when you turn on like enemy drop or like enemizer, like those are the things that are in the log because they're so fast, They're.
I'm curious. I haven't been watching Tam's stream entirely. Has Tam been to Lost Woods? Has Tam seen
No.
these items that Fear's picking up in Cackwell?
No, I don't think so because I think this was actually I was gonna say like I think this is like Fear's between Fear and Tam. This is actually gonna be new information.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks, Arya. Yeah, our awesome tracker for tonight. You know, being the hero to being able to keep everything in line for us. Yeah, because I think like Tam, what happened was like Tam got the flute, and then in order to taking like they went south instead, right? And then I think they probably like got carried away somewhere else, and then Fear decided to go north.
So right now, if it does look like Tam is ahead, it's because of this play that Tam is doing right now, and it's Fear dipped Eastern early, right out of Sank, came and did this with 3 hearts and nothing to their name, and it looks like right now that's going to pay off, or it's going to even out because we're seeing Tam do the same thing right now.
Right.
So this is going to give Fear some time to sort of level the field, get a more comprehensive view of what's out there in Hyrule.
Yeah, I think Tam was also the only one who found Ganon because I don't think Fear has been over to the Useless Fairy yet. So, but we're gonna get information. Fear's getting blue mail from Pyramid Fairy inside. Yes. I don't know if that's super desirable. I think for Fear, it's probably good. Oh, they both found Ganon. Okay, thanks, Arya. Yeah, like blue mail is somewhat of like a double-edged armor. I can't say shield. Sorry, Papil.
I think our runners are skilled enough that Fear probably cursed just a little bit under his breath when he picked that up.
Yeah.
If it's a scoutable item, I typically skip them until I find Mirror. But we are still we're at very low heart counts, so it's less bad than it could have been later.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. And we actually see, again, this is not a reminder or anything. Just saying that, like if maybe Tam had a little bit of had blue mail, we would have maybe able to see like the other side of the Death Mountain Descent mini Moldorm connector. But like, I'm sorry. Yeah. That was the only example that came to mind. But yeah, but I was gonna say though, like I think Tam very reasonable to try and delay Eastern Palace, trying to get a little bit more information, more equipment. Got a lot of obviously good things we see based on the tracker. We got hammer, flute, club, etc. But nothing that would really help them in Eastern. Like don't have the big key, don't have the bow, so kind of got the same value.
Yeah, I am actually a little surprised by that play considering how much was available. We just saw fearagent right now. Oh, hey, look at that.
Hey, look, see, never punish. See, we'll discover later.
We saw Fear walk into GT briefly. Without keys, there's not a whole lot to do. It seems that we do have the GT big on both runners right now. But
yeah,
without keys, there's not a whole lot in logic there. There's just the 2 chests in Hope Room. I would guess that Fear's going to rescue this old man and go right back in. And I would expect Tam. I'm not sure if Fear's comfortable with a bomb jump, but at least checking DM room is a nice little dense 4 items and a cool show off of a bomb jump.
Yeah, it's actually right. You mentioned it's non-logic, although they have the hammer to kind of get over there. I will say though, this is maybe one of those times that blue mail can actually shine early on if they're gonna try and tempt the bomb jump. One of the limiting factors for bomb jumping is the health that you end up taking. So the fact that Fear has blue mail maybe makes it a little bit safer for him to be able to do so.
Yeah,
if you only take one, you only take half a heart's worth of damage as opposed to. I'm kind of looking at these, the health of both Tam and Fear, and I think like Fear's first heart container came out of 4 heart pieces. So it's not like we're really rolling in the health department here.
It's still plenty early.
It's true. It is still plenty early. Plenty of opportunities for us to find some of our other like major ticket items. Granted, we have found a lot. Found a glove, found a hammer, flute, sword, boots.
A GT small key.
That's actually pretty good. Having one GT small key is actually super helpful. And yeah, I think right. They both ended up finding Ganon, as Arya mentioned. So do we know what's maybe behind Agatu?
I have not been paying enough attention.
Okay.
I know that it's not. Let me see. We found the Kakariko well. We found Ganon. We found the Lost Woods drop. and I don't know what else we found.
Okay. Aria thinks it's Uncle, which I think is also yeah. I don't think we've seen Uncle, and if it is Uncle, then you basically find any of the Hyrule Camp. Well, no. No. Well, it's gonna be one item, two items behind the climb.
Yeah, which is climbing GT is one of the. Ooh.
Ooh, hey, okay, well forget the bomb jump. We're just going. Oh
We're
my
just
gosh.
cruising over there now.
Oh, that is a high value hope room. Do you think we're gonna find a sword in GT out of curiosity?
I mean, we could. There's a lot out there, and sword is nice, but it's not progressive. It's not progression, right?
Immediate progression, probably not. I mean, I think there are probably some like fringe cases, right? Maybe you need a medallion or something to, but eventually we'll need two swords, to begin it. But yes, I agree that at least early on, it's just very helpful. It's not actually, it doesn't really unlock anything.
What I'm really curious about is how far is Fear gonna go? Oh baby!
Oh my gosh!
That's a nice mirror.
Yeah, it is. And I guess I'm kind of curious now because, we see Tam in GT kind of similarly following Fear's footsteps. However, Tam doesn't have the GT small key that Fear does.
Yeah, Fear had the discipline to put this off for a little bit and was rewarded with that small key. We're gonna see now, I don't believe any of this is in logic with that small key. Although
There are certain...
maybe I shouldn't be talking so much about logic if I'm not certain about it. I do know the map chest in GT is locked behind all four.
Correct. Yes. That much is certainly true. I'm trying to actually think. I know there are a bunch of stuff that's only locked by one small key. There's a bunch of stuff locked by 3 small keys, and then there's some stuff with 4.
Yeah, this random room is also locked by 4.
Yeah, right. Because in this case, right, like especially with like the fact that that middle door exists, like the forbidden middle door in GT that you basically see never. That's right, ever go into except apparently for veterans when keys are just plentiful. I think that really hurts GT logic. I mean, in terms of you need a lot more keys because you could just open that door at any time, right? So automatically everything just is increased. Even though you would just, never, ever open that door unless you were pretty confident you didn't need any of the rest of the stuff.
I'm confused right now because I don't know how Tam has the same number of keys as Fear Agent.
I think Fear opened the map chest in GT, and he got a Skullwood's big key out of it. So
that's right.
I mean, TBD, right?
Yeah, I mean, Skullwood's big is one of those really nasty checks because Skullwoods is a nice enough. It's a nice good bit of items that you like to do it when you see it, but then once you do that, especially if the big chest is behind a drop, it's not one of the things that you like to go back for, just because it doesn't really route in with anything else.
Right, yeah. And especially, I don't know, I don't think we've actually found a connector over to Dark World. That ferry is not moving. Okay, alright. Right, and then maybe it depends on how early Fear wants to go, especially, like he spent, as you mentioned, a small key on the GT map chest that is, logically speaking, that's locked by all 4 GT keys. Like, he might want to actually press that in terms of, like, prioritize it, and he may even, like, depending on like what our connectors and like our Moon Pearl situation, he may just go as a bunny, right, and then just try and get that, and that can end up, it could be paying off very well. Could also, it's going to be a lot of divergence for sure.
Yeah, it could pay off, but it's one of those checks where it's like at this point it's free because you have all the Skullwoods to do. So, there's a sword that you wanted.
Oh, and the sword, man. Gigantic payoff here for GT Basement. This is super nice. You got a mirror. We got a sword. I'm sure there's other. We got a hook shot in order to get us to left side. Okay, well, of course, Fear. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. We'll just go right back where we started.
Or we'll see something new out of this this mountain cave.
All right, arm putting in some very nice logic things for us in chat. Thank you so much. Stalfus is 0. Right, because we want to do hammer hook shot in order to get over there.
Yep. Yeah, I think it's the ice armos or the ice armos is the one that's kind of that one always trips me up logically. All right, we'll
sometimes like the key requirements, right? Like they don't make they technically make sense because that's just how, because like the game just assumes that you open up all the doors in the worst way possible, right? But at the same time, it's like, should it really be 3 keys? Like, or should it really be 4 keys? It's, that type of thing. But it is what it is for what we have.
Okay, I'm taking a death here to a bat. I didn't see if they had the old man yet. Looks like they did, because it's still dark and full of terrors.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, well, I think Tam also entered with 1/2 heart, unfortunately.
Fear finding another nice.
Oh yeah, this post hook shot is super nice. Yeah, sometimes you gotta wonder about like how blessed or unlucky people are, especially in this case with finding the hook shot like before finding hook shot cape. Super nice.
I am always skeptical. No matter how nice a seed is, it's never truly nice until you find that last item.
That's true. That's very true. We've seen, yeah.
Yeah, you can find everything that you need to zoom through 6 of your 7 crystal dungeons, and then you look back at your map tracker, and you have half of a Hyrule unchecked, and you're just looking for an ice rod.
Or the equivalent of an ice rod, right?
Oh, yes.
Interest, yes.
So, like I said, it's really hard to gauge on if there is anyone winning or losing this race, especially 28 minutes in.
Yeah, and for cross keys, right? Like, and there may be some things that could even seem obvious, right? Quote unquote obvious. Whereas, like, you see kind of like one person having a lot more progressive items that they end up finding, because they took, they chose differently, right, than their opponent. And you're like, oh my gosh, this person has a hammer, and then they found the pearl, and they found the glove, and then they even found the flute. So then they have, so they're able to do, a lot, right? So then on the flip side, maybe too much freedom or too many choices. When you're looking for 1 or 2 things, right, you really want your choices to be very limited. Like I don't want to pick from 50 different locations. I want to pick from 2 locations where this thing could be. Yeah,
it's funny that you bring choices up, because we just saw Fear Agent 50/50 drop from the top of East Death Mountain, finding Desert Front, which has 2 exits to it.
Wow.
There's a lot of different decisions to make here.
Oh yeah. That's definitely true. Oh, they're speaking more decisions. We have Tam. Apparently, we have enough stuff for Spiky. We have magic extension, and we have an invisibility item super early, and we have the hammer. It just leads to 20 rupees. Fun.
Yep. I'm not sure if Fear's gonna miss that. Not gonna miss
Fear,
that 20 rupees.
Yeah, you probably won't, miss it, right? Like just like work, right? You can't really miss work, right? But I'm also kind of looking at Fear's like magic situation where he might have enough to do Spiky, but maybe he is just willing to go and put it off a bit until maybe he can get some more magic. We don't have the big key, by the way.
Yeah. Fear's also missing that glove from, I believe.
Oh, yeah. Good point. Yes, right. It was a mini Moldorm Cave entrance. I don't remember what was inside, but yes, it was the glove.
But yeah, it's just one of those things where, because Fear doesn't have a glove, maybe he never checks that, and that's a time save.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, like the best time saves that you mentioned before are the ones that you just don't ever do, right? You're telling me I can't do Hera Basement because I don't have a fire source? I'm heartbroken, By the way, we've actually found our connector. Speaking of, Fear has found one to Dark World. Tam also is in Dark World, for what it's worth. We do see the lovely non-pet chicken, kind of clucking around. But this one, I don't know. I mean, still counts. I understand, but it's not like where Fear is. In Village of Outcasts.
Yeah, bunny walking is one of the biggest feels bad. Oh man.
Oh, we got another connector. Fear's taking it too.
Yeah, I can appreciate the boldness and just see connector take connector. Unfortunately,
that is
Fear. Well, I guess Fear can just go back up.
We can. It is kind of one of those things where it's like, do you want to go? I'm okay. Like, yes, he does want to continue his path because he's a Dark World, but like, this is the worst connector to go back to.
I think bunny walking for these mirrorable entrances. I believe that's where Fear is ultimately looking for. Fear is looking for the K45 entrance and also the race game left entrance. Those are just really nasty entrances to get to. in general, bunny walking feels really bad. It feels really slow. It feels a bit faster because we don't have boots anyway. But getting those checked off is it's pretty important, especially when you're seemingly running out of other options.
Yeah, and I believe, right, since we found the mirror and the hook shot and the hammer, I guess, like all I think in logic, right? I don't quite remember what the connector was here, but I mean, this also, like, assuming that was also logical, right? Like, this could have also be expected of you to kind of like do all the bunch of bunny walking as well.
Yeah, this is in logic. This is this was through desert.
Oh, okay, right, okay, that's right. He literally was just over there. That's right. All right.
Well,
Tam also.
I had to go back and think about like hammers in logic, hook shots in logic. Yes.
Like kind of, yeah, as you mentioned, right? So yeah, Fear's gonna try and work out the rest of these dark world mirror lock locations. Yeah, and I think also Tam on their side found laser bridge or like TR bridge. Those are very convenient. Again, like early mirror is super good for like world and dark world efficiency, especially I mean any kind of like dark world where you can just literally go mirror. Also really just feel nice, even if they don't lead to anything. Fairy shop, bomb shop, some random house cave, right? The fact that you've just marked it off, you don't have to come back again. Like that's the great spot. Obviously, yeah, like we find boots or we find sword or fire rod, something obviously kind of nice, right? But if we never have to come back, that's time in the bank.
Yep, and that's the efficiency that you're looking for. Now, Tam's also making the same decision that Fear did in terms of this 50-50, which is really more of a 66-33. It's 200 although Tam also did find the TR bridge, so already did check both of those entrances. But we're going to see what direction Tam decides to go out of this.
Yeah, and right now, like the thing that like Fear, I don't necessarily like the next major thing, right? Because there are many major things for both Fear and Tam to go find. It is going to be that glove though that Tam has, that is in the mini Moldorm, spot, and like I have heard in general that location, even with the flute's a little bit nicer, but like it is kind of like a more awkward position or location to check. Just because it's kind of like in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, it's when everything is so close to your flute locations, it suddenly seems a little bit farther.
I have never heard anybody say, "Oh, I can do this at any time," but then never go back for 30 minutes.
That is very true. It looks like we're going to see a different exit from Tam.
Ooh, okay, desert right. That's actually nice. Oh yeah, and by the way, your Fear, actually with the hook shot, can actually have the option to go back to West Death Mountain. Tam did not have that option earlier, but I don't know in this case if there was more value to be had in like regular like Death Mountain.
I believe they both checked everything on East Death Mountain.
Okay,
once Fear walks in here. Yes, because we saw the first. Actually, we saw the first chest. From Tam. I'm not sure if Tam had a Castle Tower key.
I do not believe Tam did have a Castle Tower key. I think you're right, because they just got the first chest. And of course, Fear is actually here with the sword, gonna make things a little bit, more convenient to take down the guards. And yeah, like Tam, I think just got the first chest and then saved and put out because there was no Castle Tower key.
Now, this in particular is a gross enough check to where if it is something important, even though it's not in logic, I can't see Tam coming back here for a while. It's
for sure.
An Aga Tower on like the most remote end of East Death Mountain.
Yeah.
It's just it doesn't look good.
Yeah, especially in this case, like as you said, like even like with no lamp, even if we had a lamp, right? It's how much time do you have to invest basically for this one check? It's a lot.
If you have a lamp, then you wait for that to be your last logical check, and then you go to it.
Yeah, I don't think actually anything was in behind Aga Tower. I want to say it was Useless Fairy when we found it. So, like, I think climbing Aga Tower today is not going to be fruitful.
Off the menu.
I don't quite remember seeing where the GT or the CT key was, but if it was in GT, Tam did Aga Tower before GT.
Correct. I don't know if Tam has that Castle Tower key. Oh, they do have a Castle Tower key.
Oh yes, yes. Our awesome tracker has been. Our Aria has marked it, so it's always our fault. Don't worry. Okay. Yeah. So without the glove, as you mentioned, right? Like the Fear can't really check the 50 rupee cave rock, or anything in the ice rock cave area. And actually, you know, as you mentioned before, like the fact that we have a mirror now, Tam, if they can maybe try and hold out to get a connector over to Dark Shopping Mall, we can try and combine it with the mirror. Looks like Tam's just gonna go over there, and just get it over with.
Yeah, just pull this rock. I feel like it's.
Oh no, we've already been here. Okay, what happened? Okay. Oh right. Oh my gosh. Yes, I remember now. Yes, Tam found Paradox. We couldn't get over here because we couldn't mirror block delete this thing.
Yeah. So these checks not in logic. Hello, Moon Pearl.
Hello, yes. Hello, Moon Pearl.
Perhaps in logic in an entrance we have yet to check. She's
Yeah.
likely. If you're rooting for, don't forget to check your sexy boots, then you are happy to see that the Moon Pearl showed up not in one of those mirrorable locations.
Right. Yeah, in this case, it's the mirror block delete is pretty straightforward to just do. You know, as you push the block, just spam the mirror button until it deletes.
Is Fear about to find the other entrance to Paradox Cave? Right here.
Maybe we haven't checked this entrance. You're right. Tam, by the way, found the back desert. No, and maybe Tam checked this because I remember seeing Curiosity Shop inside. But where?
Where? Yeah.
Maybe.
Where do we logically get that pearl?
Yeah, maybe it's Paradox the other entrance.
I have a map tracker up, but I have not been. I've been too engrossed by the play. Actually.
Yeah, no, it's very interesting so far. Okay, yeah, well, I think Tam's gonna at least give us our last check to at least the last Paradox entrance. Like, Fear is probably just checking out like the rest of these entrances, and then probably gonna take Paradox and then find his pearl as well.
Yep, we've seen a lot of from Fear, which is the good. I'm sorry, was that?
Yeah, that was the brewery, which means we need the pearl to get access that location from that side.
So that means logically we need our mitts, right? Because we would have to flute to 6.
Yeah, and then mirror.
Yeah. Okay. So mitts are. So now we know mitts are out there somewhere early in logic. Fear doesn't know that yet because Fear doesn't have the Moon Pearl, or has not checked those entrances yet. But hopefully Tam knows that. Thank you. Mitts or connected to Meyer.
Yeah, that's true. We haven't seen anything over there. Yeah. Yeah, but but this is also kind of like one of the fun things to try and figure out, in cross keys is something, especially for like the logic. It's like, how the heck are you supposed to even get over here in the first place? You're not. While you do have like the mirror and this glitch, whatever, technique is really pretty straightforward to actually like do. You're not expected to do so, right? Like you're not expected to go find the mirror and then you're blocked to leave here. Did Tam check what the Vanilla Thief Town entrance was? I must have just missed it.
I
if they did.
Okay. I'm trying not to be so biased that I only watch my.
Oh no! Yeah, no. It's also just hard to watch 2 screens at once, right? Because it's like, because you don't want to miss any action, and just there's especially even early on even mid game, there's always action going on. Like even if they don't have boots, okay, or they don't have anything, you always are trying to figure out what they're doing.
Yeah, they don't have boots, so it's kind of easy mode for us, but they do have flute, so it's.
True.
It's spooky. Chat telling us that Tam just went south.
Okay. I think it's also very it's very fair. Like that's kind of like Fear. Fear decided also not to go north. But Fear also didn't have the pearl when he was in Dark World the first time.
So we would not have seen that from Fear, but we probably will now, because the entrances that Tam is checking, Fear must have already checked. Yeah. Fear
found all these already. Because Fear was also checking like K45 and like the race game stuff. And yes, we're gonna see in this case what Fear had to leave behind early. It's another dark cave.
That would explain why we didn't see it.
Okay. I see what you did there. From the bat sound, I think maybe it was the entrance of Old Man Rescue, like the one you jumped down on. I guess I don't know, or maybe it's the I don't know.
If you heard a bat, then I believe that means it's the back of the Old Man Rescue.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you for reminding me that I've been watching the entire time with no sound. I have not bothered to turn it on.
You know what? I will say, whoever's decision, and maybe it was Inadene's initial decision to go with Fierce Audio. Let me. I didn't realize until just now, as you mentioned about game audio. Thank you so much for taking Fierce. I believe that, especially early game, we would have recognized very early that Tam's heartbeats are not their usual speed. In fact, they're sped up what seemingly is like 20 times, and they're quite loud. So
it's the danger speed.
It is, but I would prefer.
I
want to be in my safe zone. Tam can be in the danger zone. Okay, we listening collectively, watching. We can be in our safe space in the commentary booth and watching at home. Okay.
That's fair. So we found two. Fear going north out of Village of Outcasts, finding Sahasrah's hut, and meanwhile Tam finding Blind's hut going south. Which will pay off more?
A lot of TBD value. I am glad to always see the powder on Tam's side. And again, anything that would limit the number of opportunities for heartbeats is appreciated. Fierce showing us why it is in fact not the easiest room of the game. I will note for the record, the Fear and Tam both picked up the blue boomerang in the hammer pegs like inside location. Like as in like they saw the boomerang and then they actually like walked up and get it and gotten it. So I
noticed they both have the red boomerang. Do they have the red boomerang? Do they have the red boomerang?
Yeah, they do. I don't. Maybe I'm not sure. But still, I thought it was like kind of a curious choice because they both have the hook shot and they have a sword and they have the hammer, and so like usually speaking, kind of at that point, the boomerang isn't maybe like as high value just because you have a ranged weapon.
It's really nice for mobility just to be able to stun things out of your way.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, Arya say okay, they both have the red one. Yeah.
After already having the red, some people have their boomerang loyalties.
I guess it's true. I guess that means Fear and Tam both have the same boomerang loyalty. You know what? Okay, I am also seeing though, like the Fear is the fact that he is he's stunning the Gyptos, right? That I think they're immune to the hook shot. So,
yep.
It's gonna be value.
Yeah, it's good value, and it's also good for some speed tech with picking up keys. You can do it with a hook shot, but you can't move and do it with a hook shot. True.
Yeah, that's also true. Yeah, especially for like Eastern Palace small key, or anything like Hyrule Castle boomerang chest or guard,
or the first super tile of Ice Palace.
The first, that's right on the jelly. That's right. Okay, so we'd actually just see the health value, I guess, of that skull was big key that's locked by all 4 GT small keys. It's just a heart container. Probably at this point they're not going to complain too much. They have blue mail and however many, like 8 hearts, 9 hearts at this point. So they won't turn it down, but probably not going to be something that they're going to like, especially Tam's probably not going to miss it.
No, I think they both have enough health and safeties to feel comfortable with the rest of the team.
Yeah, I also remember
even Fear without powder, I feel like.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, but actually, so I know that Tam, at least back, I don't know, like maybe like a year or two or so ago, was also very ran spoiler for a while, and I just remember like it didn't matter like how close the safeties were if they weren't literally like directly on the path, right? Even if they were directly on the path, Tam just wouldn't get them. Like, yeah. it was super tight, and Tam's very talented at this.
Imagine piloting that kind of run. You're just like, please, for my heart, just go get this heart container.
Oh yeah.
No,
that's true. Yeah, I didn't even think about this too, because sometimes even picking up safeties, it takes a little bit of extra time, and there's not only time for the runner, there's also time for the pilot as well. It's like, go do this thing. I need to buy them myself some more times. No, I don't want that. What else you got for me? And it's like,
Yeah, but it goes both ways too in terms of that's a nice spot from fearagent. by the way.
Yeah, that's actually very good scout. Bumper ledge. Bumper ledge skippers do not need any new members. But yeah, like that. Would you try to prioritize connectors then?
Whenever I do, I get burned. But also,
I see.
we don't necessarily know what our pendants are right now. I would be looking for a way to find that, just because it not only does it let you finish TR and Mire, it also gives you the potential for GT right side. More than likely than not, we're going to need that cane. Hello, Mire.
Yes, hello,
How-
Mire. Yeah.
How convenient.
Yes, and yes, they both have, in this case, at least one of the hookshot or boots items to get into Mire. More often than not, it seems like it is going to be the hookshot and not the boots. Tam also found this a little bit earlier. I think just chose not to go in. Decided to continue on, to the route. Fear. I've seen this, this happen quite frequently. We're going to go in, no fire, but also we don't really have like any Mire small keys at this point. So right side or left side is probably not gonna be too big of a concern for us. But we'll just go in and get our 4 items and then we can go about our merry way.
Yeah, I mean it's a small dip. It's 4 items. It could just be lamp right here, or a fire source right here.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Well, there's your ice rod.
That's anti-fire, but yes, we cannot use those to light torches. This is not Ocarina of Time. There are no like blue flames, as much of it might be actually pretty interesting to see.
But yeah, I can see why. You can make the case for Tam skipping it, and then you can also make the case for Fear going in.
So our mitts are in Dark World. Like Mire was in Dark World, right? We haven't left.
I don't remember.
Like, okay, well we're gonna find out as soon as Fear exits this place. Mire is in Light World. Okay, gotcha. Okay, thank you, Arya.
Thank you, Arya. Maybe there is no connector to Mire then.
Yes, I mean, right. If Mire's in Light World, like Spike Chest is completely accessible based on the equipment that we have. So that could actually then be our logical path to our Moon Pearl.
You say? Oh, never mind. I'm sorry. No need to sweat. Those are red.
Yeah, that's right. There's blue. There's a red potion all ready for you.
Right, that was the sound of me holding my breath.
Okay. It's okay. Just pretend you're piloting Tam. You're just watching Tam do spoiler. I mean, but yeah, Cold Stare even on Blue Mail, it can actually be pretty intimidating because like the longer, okay, this is true in general for any boss fight, but the longer the Cold Stare fight goes, like it gets worse like exponentially because those things not only of course do every Cold Stare do like 3 cards of damage to you, but they're also pretty fast and they're kind of a little bit erratic. So and of course, what do we have to work with? The hammer, fighter sword spins. It's
not a
yeah,
whole lot.
it's.
Yeah, there are some times where you just feel like you can go in and bully Cold Stare and become the aggressor, and then there's times where, a lot of times I feel like when I fight Cold Stare, 90% of the time it's just, some 45-degree angle that they travel.
Yeah,
then they'll mix in like a 30-degree, and suddenly I'm toast. So it's definitely not a fight that feels very comfortable. And it is really nice to have like a tempered sword or a fire rod for that fight.
Yeah. Anything that gives you certainly more control for like melee damage with a tempered sword. Not even that you can do like tempered sword spins, that also does more damage, but also just being able to slash the sword, right, is much wider ranging. But also like you said the fire rod, especially with half magic, you can always kind of reset like the movement of the Cold Stare puffs, a bit even as a ranged weapon. So it just made things much better for you. Yeah, well, yeah, we don't have those kind of luxuries. This is Survivors. Okay, we are only awarded with the bare minimum.
That's true. It wouldn't be Survivors if there weren't also people who did not survive.
That's right. Wait, casualties?
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
It turns out there is a word for that.
Although, yeah, talking about potential casualties, though, yeah, you mentioned it before. While you may or may not have named one person out of the two, that's between Tam and Fear, who you would prefer to be the victor or the survivor. Tam is, in fact, the last remaining member standing on team. Did you check your sexy boots? So, and as I think you mentioned before, like Tam is kind of up against the Gauntlet, which is the other team. Which is in this case, I think it's Fear, Shireen, and I wish I had looked this up earlier.
It's Fear, Shireen, and Ganon's Gone Wild.
GGW, that's right, yes.
With their fourth teammate being Ravis, who Tam beat in their first match of the round.
That's right, yeah, that's right. So I believe Tam actually took a game off of Ravis in 80 keys, where all the modes are different, and yeah, this is going to be This is game 5. So yep. We have 3 survivors here on for Fear's team, and we have 1 survivor, and hopefully in this case, if the series is not over until one team has no more survivors left. So.
Until one team has only casualties.
That's right, only casualties. We actually find we find Mimic Cave as well with that early hammer. Okay, so Worf, what do you think it'd be is like the next kind of like more major thing that we're gonna find that helps open things up? Oh, do you think it's gonna be Desert Palace? We found the small key. We found Desert Back. We found Desert Big Key now.
I don't know. Part of me is we still haven't found Dam, and we still don't have our flippers, so it's probably not Swamp Palace. But if I do find those 2 things, then as gross as Swamp is, we have that small key, and that's always gonna stand.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, now we know for sure that the flippers cannot be at the first chest because we kind of need the flippers. So at least there's that. Like, it always kind of makes me wonder, maybe depending on the convenience of Swamp Palace, it's like, when do you go check that first chest without the small key? Because there's nothing that's stopping the game from putting the small key in its vanilla location.
That's true, other than just good manners.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you think the seed had good parents or a good upbringing? I'm very skeptical of most seeds.
Yeah, I will, to reiterate what I was saying before, I will not comment on how good or bad a seed is until that last item is found.
That's very true. Speaking of though, being well-mannered or maybe just courteous would be kind of nice. And we got a pearl, we have we got a sword. How about some sexy boots, Worf?
Yeah, I think it'd be great to find those. I'd prefer if Tam found them first, but I'm not going to hide the fact that I am biased a little bit.
Worf is a casualty, just for the record.
I am a casualty. Boots, I'm trying to think of what boots would give. I don't think we've seen anything on any torches. That is
we saw a small key, I think, on Desert Torch. But again, we don't know if that's going to be value, because I think we've already found a lot of the high value the small keys. But continue.
Then there's also 3 bonkable rocks, and then a King's Tomb that we would be able to get to. So there's 4 entrances there. I have my big sheet open with all the entrances in the game that I have not been keeping up with. I know we've seen Mini Moldorm, Hype Cave, Hookshot Cave, Paradox Cave, and Blind's Hut. So those are all of our really nice 5-item caves. I don't know.
Yeah,
really,
and we also...
Really, you're just looking for where are my dungeon entrances and where's my dungeon info.
That's true, yeah. And I think even some of the lesser item caves where we had I think we saw the inside of Pyramid Fairy, we saw Saha, we're instead of we've exhausted all of our 5-item caves, but there's still in this case 4 or 3 and maybe 2 ones that were potentially still out there, so it still give us value. But yeah, I'm just it does kind of feel like we should be maybe inside a dungeon at some point soon.
The remaining 2-item caves, I don't believe we've seen Mire Shed, and I don't know if we've seen Waterfall Fairy, but I know we saw Pyramid Fairy.
I do not think that we've seen Waterfall Fairy. I don't remember seeing that. I learned, by the way, today that apparently, if Waterfall Fairy and Pyramid Fairy are in the same world, they're both in Light World or they're both in Dark World, they actually give the same Waterfall Fairy prize. Did you know this?
I I think I learned it in the same stream.
Okay, all right. Well then, we're high five.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this might have been just like a quirk of rando. I don't, or I've just never ever noticed this until now. But apparently, that's a thing.
Yeah, I feel like it would be most noticeable reading a spoiler log, which is not something I typically do a whole lot of.
It's also have to be spoiler log cross keys, right? Or entrance, which I think is even less frequent than like non-entrance.
Yeah, that's true. It would have to be that. Huh. Good to know.
Yeah. I mean, today, but I don't think they had. Did they have a bottle? Maybe they might have had a bottle by the time they got to a pyramid fairy entrance, but I mean, from what it seems like, the bottle was a red potion, so they probably didn't want to give it up, and it was certainly very worthwhile for Tam, especially in the Cold Stair fight to use it.
With half magic, honestly, who needs bottles at all? Red bottles for safety, fairies for safety. Unlikely to need an extra magic bar with half magic.
Yeah, we certainly saw that. Yeah, like with Berna on Ice Armos, that was actually very nice. Very nice usage.
Runners are just too good to need all these safeties.
Yeah.
What I want to know is, where's Pod? We can't beat it yet, but we have 4 small keys and a big key. So that opens up a lot of checks in there.
It's true. Yeah, I think the only thing that we can't logically have access to are like the 6-key lock stuff. So those Middle Big Key Chest, Harmless Hallway, and the boss, right?
And the dark.
And and Dark Maze, yeah.
Yes.
Right.
But there's still the front, which the Bollock side is not in logic, but we have a bottle. There's Pyramid Fairy, by the way.
Perfect. I think Fear also has not. Yes. Right. I think Fear hasn't used his bottle yet. Or potion.
We also have mini clipping.
That's true. Right. Fear has done this. Maybe. Oh, maybe. Okay. You know what? Maybe we're gonna check out. Okay. Yeah. Check out this connector. I think maybe.
Got a high five.
Yeah. Yeah. I was actually wondering in this case if Fear was trying to think like, okay, you know what? I don't want to walk out of Agina's cave. So if the other thing, entrance is nothing, I'm just gonna, save and quit out. Turns out it's not nothing, and we have to go back for it. But it's just a couple transitions.
Fear's had really good discipline with not just kind of jumping at. Not making knee-jerk decisions in terms of finding good stuff. Walking out of Ganon's tower. And finding the GT small key just a couple doors later. And I'm pretty sure there was another example that I'm forgetting, but there was another time that I noticed it, and I was just like, oh, this is good discipline.
Yeah, you can actually see this is kind of like, it just shows it has a lot of experience, right? I know, now is Fear on record saying that Cross is his favorite mode, as he probably has said that at some point. It's probably, if it's not his favorite mode right now, right, like it's probably certainly like very high up there.
It just makes me think like their experience, but it's like to get that experience, it just means you had to have been burned by that exact thing before.
That is part of the experience, whether you are survivor or casualty. And some things I think probably tend to stick with people more than others. They're just gonna be like some decisions you just regret so much, right? And then you're just like, I'm never doing this again. It's like the one time I skip X, this happens, and then so I'm never skipping X again. And every runner experiences things differently.
Yeah, true.
I'm noticing, okay, so both Fear and Tam are doing the Back of Escape, which I don't think we've actually found the Hyrule Castle small key, as it's certainly not core to Aria or a tracker. So,
they have not. But they have, the drop down was easy enough, so they don't really need, I guess everything from the first key guard down is out of logic without that small key.
Right.
But, aside from not being able to see, this dark cross key is not locked by any keys. So, liar key.
Yeah, we're gonna need that. That lamp is kind of showing up more logical places. We need the lamp to kind of unlock some of these locations logically. more and more so. I mean, again, like especially when these guys get the fire rod, they're not going to need any. Like, I'm pretty sure they can. I'm sure Tam and Fear have completed the game without the lamp like hundreds of times, if not thousands, by now. So
That's a lot, Brandon.
it is. It's all part of the experience,
Yeah.
I'm actually, and I think the fact that like there's just not necessarily even they practice like offline or they play things like that. It's just that the sheer number of tournaments that have gone on over the years, right? You just participate in a lot, and over time they all rack up.
Yeah, it adds up for sure. I'm not sure if we've seen these entrances on Tam's side.
Fear was definitely here before, but yeah, I think this is going to be new information for Tam. Okay.
So what's
We
left?
didn't see. Do we have a connector up to Dark Death Mountain?
Not that I have seen.
Okay, yeah, because right now, so right, so I think, are we gonna do more connector? Can we get to Dark Shopping Mall?
Not without those flippers.
Right, good point. We don't have flippers, yes.
There's our connector.
Okay, well, perfect.
Hyrule
Then
Castle
that
right.
is Hyrule Castle right. Okay, yeah, so this is gonna be pretty good. I don't remember, was he even on Floating Island?
I don't think it was anything important, but
Okay.
okay. Fear's floating away, which leads me to think that they must have seen this before.
So many high fives these days,
I know, right?
Yeah, because I think right now, like, we need a connector, at least, to Bumper Ledge. That is probably going to be something that, again, like, right now, we don't have the rest of the stuff in order to kind of beat the Samaria locked prizes, like Maya or Turtle Rock, but Samaria's going to be able to open things up a little bit more. As you mentioned before, like, Right Side GT is going to be one thing. You're going to let us traverse Turtle Rock, to, like, various chests, because we've already found the entrance of Turtle Rock before.
Yeah, we found the back entrance. Have we
Right, and Laser Bridge as well. Yeah, so it's...
Well, we've seen Laser Bridge. Have we seen any other one besides Laser Bridge? I don't recall. Which makes me think, how many TR keys do we have? I see 2 on Tam's screen. I see 1 on Fear's screen.
Right, where we just see TR main. Yeah. I'm trying to think if we had.
Okay.
Right, they found it. Yeah, they found it. They found it somewhere. But yes, I remember seeing it for both. Unfortunately, the money is not well spent. It was a very, like, you had to pay the cover fee of a shop that you would just consider to be overpriced and exorbitant to begin with, so... Yeah, in this case, what do we have kind of left? I guess we have Zora. That's another item that kind of sucks. Maybe they're gonna both go over there now. They have money, they have the mirror, they can go check Catfish in addition, they check our potion shop. That's gonna be another...
Have we seen the top of the pyramid?
Oh, you are correct. We have not seen the top of the pyramid. We talked about it like an hour ago, right?
Yeah,
talking about trying to combine, combine like Pyramid Fairy, yeah.
Now we're actually seeing Fear YOLO through this. I like it because that exact reason. You're trying to sniff out where that cane is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Tam is hot on Fear's non-sexy boots.
All right, so now that we have that cane, how soon do we go back to TR?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm also wondering in this case if we're gonna go, oh my gosh, Fear. Potions don't do anything until you use them. Just PSA. I guess we haven't done North Dark World either?
No, I guess not. It is, well, okay, apparently Tam has seen that before.
I'm also wondering in this case if Fear was trying to maybe try to farm out a little bit of extra health. Because the Dark Sanctuary dude just literally moved one door over, but it was actually, it's like so close and yet so far away. feels, man, okay. I don't know, it might be just like a US thing, but I just feel like everything, even if it's like you want to go to the grocery store and it's like, oh yeah, it's only, I don't know, like a quarter of a mile away, and then like in order to get to the store, it's like you gotta get in your car and then like drive like 5 different roads all the way around, and then you don't end up getting to the store until like 10 minutes later. Versus if you literally just walk, you know, like the quarter of a mile straight directly, you know, through, it's gonna save you time, but you don't have that option. That's what it feels like between Tark Stank and Great Bear Ledge.
I can't relate. I live right next to a grocery store.
Okay, alright. Then you are quite fortunate. Okay, Fear has also finally decided to use his potion. He probably realizes he also, despite the lack of heartbeats, is also in the danger zone. Just like that. Like...
Yeah, that could have been it.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean,
or that.
Those bombers are just really gross.
They are. They're mean.
They're some of my least favorite enemies in the game.
Not even, I mean, you know, there are a lot of good, terrible enemies to contend with here. You know, there's like Dead Rocks, you know, there's Chomps.
Just getting to Dark Shopping Mall alone, there's the one screen that has 2 or 3 of them, and you get funneled up that ladder, and who knows how much health you have, because you only go there, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
Like cross keys or some kind of entrance mode. I struggle to think of any more frustrating enemies outside of Dead Rocks. Dead Rocks has their own special category.
It's true, yeah, and you kind of try and see people kind of enter in that whirlpool, like from a certain, you know, direction, like from the left or something, right? Really try and like squeeze yourself in, so you maybe try and mitigate some of the RNG, but yeah, it's never pleasant. That's the
a lot of people will from the, I guess the dark potion shop is what I call it. I don't know what the spoiler alert calls it, but when you jump in the water there, you kind of nudge yourself up in the corner, up into the left of that, and then you just go directly right. And if nothing else, it means that you already have the momentum going through the portal. Try and avoid all that nastiness.
Yeah. And swimming is one of the hardest mechanics in the game. There is, like, regardless of how good I think your execution is, it feels like it's a pretty common consensus. Like, it's just hard to control. We are going to see, by the way, on Tam's side, some new information, because Fear's already kind of retracing some of Tam's steps earlier. Top the pyramid, we have a lamp. Tam is gonna go get that lamp later, I'm sure.
What are you doing, Tam? Get the lamp. Get the lamp now.
It'll get it later. It's fine, okay? We can procrastinate.
But there's no other fire source. Ooh, okay, so we see that, well, we already knew that Thieves Town was the green pendant.
Yes, looking at the tracker, we do not have Thieves Town Big Key. Maybe it'll be in the front 4, in which case then Tam can just finish up the dungeon. Otherwise, though, we're gonna have to go do something else. Now, I'm actually wondering, though, I'm gonna see in this case, Fear's almost gonna go... He might be also, like, going to North and Pyramid after he finishes these checks. Again, kind of curious to see if Fear... You know, like, again, if he does the right side first, maybe he'll try the left side first before seeing this kid get the Thieves Town Big Key, before kind of diving into things. Because that's kind of like one thing we've kind of, you know, seen on Fear's side.
I would expect Fear to get the lamp before.
Probably true too. Big key this dungeon? Oh, look at that. Oh, Tam's leaving.
Tam says no.
Ooh, okay. Interesting development. Does Tam want the lamp now? Okay, this might be Tam's like, let's go see if I can wait out for boots. There are no boots. Not even the non-sexy kind. It's pretty unfortunate.
I am very curious. Yeah, okay. And Tam's gonna decide that was kind of a Hail Mary, like maybe there's a one-item cave here that has boots, or maybe Pod is right here and boots are in there.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you mentioned before, like we're kind of like we're still dungeon hunting, in terms of like we haven't still seen a good number of places. You know, Pod is, you know, certainly one of the bigger ticket items, and I mean, you know, like if it just had stuff in the front, then you could basically save yourself a good amount of time doing the back of Thieves Town, being able to dash, not to mention having fun.
Yeah. More fun, please.
Yes, I would like more fun. I would like surviving and fun.
I'm trying to think, what dungeons have we not seen so far? I know we've seen Eastern, we've seen Hera, we've seen the back of Desert.
We've seen Desert, back Desert. Actually, maybe this was actually the last dungeon that we haven't seen.
Oh, besides Pod.
Yeah,
not
right,
doing
right,
pod.
right. Besides pod, yeah.
We've seen Swamp. Swamp and Skullwoods are both in Kakariko.
We haven't found the dam yet, though.
That's true.
That's-
We're still looking for the dam.
And we're still looking for flippers. We're still looking for some amount of prize knowledge. Like so Tam beat Ice Palace. That was certainly one additional crystal, for us. But we don't think, like besides the green pendant that we already know about, we don't really have. We don't know if Turtle.
How are you feeling if you're running the seed right now? Because you're an hour and 11 in. My benchmark is typically if I'm sub-2ing a cross key seed, then I'm very happy. But right now between both of our runners, we have 1 crystal.
It's true.
And
That's
we
true.
don't
Not
have-
even pendants either.
Yeah, and we don't have enough. We don't have enough knowledge to know what we need for go mode, right? We don't have any crystal, or we don't have any pendant knowledge outside of Thieves Town.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. And I guess you know a little bit about red crystals, right? Okay, so we can go beat Hera, not logically because we don't have the Hera big key, but we can Hera pot up. We are still missing a lot of stuff for Eastern, like both things. Apparently, big key and bow. We don't. I mean, and yeah, like if pot is a crystal, we're missing that bow. If Mire is a crystal, we need Mire big key. Kind of need Fire Rod probably at some point.
It's enough stuff that I don't bother to count it.
Yeah,
It's
that's
just
a good
like
call.
like if there's more things than I need than I can count on one hand, then I just okay, I just autopilot and keep going.
Yeah, that's true. Because yeah, at this point you're probably just looking for the extra like density stuff, right? Or yeah.
Which again, not to be a broken record, but pod is still lingering
That's
out.
right. Yeah, that's true. And again, as you mentioned, like we have 4 keys already, like small keys plus big key, and the bow could actually just be like in the front of pod, right? In which case, then you have logical, access to the right side of pod, and it'll get you more stuff. So
Maybe both bows are in pod.
it's possible. Yeah, there's always a blank in pod. Hammer, bow, other bow, small key to this dungeon, big key to this dungeon. Yeah, the list goes on. Alright, kind of like with not a lot of things to do, I could, so Tam's gonna finish blind, grab the green pendant. They both know where Saha is. Fear is kind of following suit.
I really wish I had taken better notes because I know where.
Hey, look,
Saha
there's a
is.
bow.
We got our bow.
We got our bow. We got a bow off of blind. Alright, so that is
Nothing. Or,
yes.
or hear me out. I don't think we have enough. Well, we have enough keys to get to Mini Helma Room in GT, right?
Oh my gosh, dude, I completely forgot about the climb. I was even thinking earlier, I'm like, okay, we have Samaria. We could go back to Right Side GT now, right? As you mentioned before. But maybe it's not going to be as tempting if you, just go back to Right Side GT, and then because I was like, then what are we going to do about the climb, We don't have a bow. So we can just kind of maybe put that decision off. We have a bow now, and we know there are 2 items behind the climb, that's where Uncle is.
All right.
That
was a very fast map check, and my eyes were only drawn towards the only 2 things that we knew, which was the top right of the screen.
Do you know who has amazing eyes apparently? Which is Arya, because Desert's a crystal. Did you know this? Thanks, Arya.
Shout out to our wonderful tracker. All right, Tam finally making me happy and grabbing that lamp.
Okay, yeah, the lamp. You're right. I mean, but so that by the way is our fire source to go beat Desert.
Yep.
Just saying.
And we have a bow now.
We do. We have a bow. So, unfortunately, we have the ice rod from Mire. I'm actually kind of looking at this output though, and I mean, I'm pretty sure at this point Tam knows how to deal with Lambos with the ice rod and half magic, so there's not going to be like too many misses.
Yeah.
You're actually going to take advantage of the fire shield. So what would you go do first then? Would you go do back of desert? With the bow?
I mean, I like back of desert, especially now that I remember where this was. I like doing this into the green pendant turn-in because Saha is just a screen north of this.
Mm-hmm. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, Fear though, looking at slightly different ideas with the bow. I will say though, again, you're absolutely correct in that, we'll reserve judgment to kind of see, maybe who has like an advantage or like a lead until maybe we get more things. But you mentioned, you're an hour 15 in, and you kind of look at your prizes that you've gotten. Tam is about to get their second crystal with the Thief's Town pendant that's required. Fear has one pendant.
Yeah.
Maybe about to get two, or sorry, another crystal.
I guess it's more accurate to say that while you can be in the lead, I don't think no lead is safe. We are actually seeing Bolanmo.
Good job, Tam. I'm so proud. Tam is gonna get, okay, I will say, like, even memes set aside, while I'm very proud of Tam, like, Ice Rod is kind of finicky to use. Tam's actually, and Tam actually has a very impressive NMG time, so, which is, the standard. It's actually, that's like a 3 cycle, yeah?
Yeah,
pretty good. Early 3 is, Tam is quite good. I will say that while Fear has run NMG, and if he decides to go to the back of desert after this, I think he is probably going to hold out for like, a fire rod, or using the ice rod, or maybe I don't think silvers are probably going to be in the picture.
Right.
Given how long we took the first bow is.
I did see this, and I guess Tam's going to spoil what I was going to say, but Swamp is a pendant, so maybe we just don't see or ever need flippers.
Ooh, yeah. Wait, did we turn on the green pendant? Did you say north?
We did not.
Okay.
Tam is opting to go south and to check out the front of Turtle Rock here.
Okay.
Which,
okay.
It's a denser play. I like it.
Yeah, and especially if it's a screen north, maybe we're interested in trying to maybe like hold out for a fire rod. I don't know if we want to try to go back, to the back of Skull Woods. That's also kind of bad.
Yeah, I agree.
By the way, we can also, speaking of fire source, I know the Tam picked this up earlier as well. We do have a Hera small key. I'm sure everyone loves Hera basement.
But what
we don't need a fire rod.
More than Hera basement is left side mire, which not in logic yet.
That's also true.
But left side mire it's one of those checks where, especially early enough in a seed, you're like, who knows, maybe I have to follow the logic to get my other 2 mire small keys to put this in logic. And in that case, why don't I just suck it up and do it?
Yeah. Right.
Sorry.
No. I mean, I was just thinking, like, maybe it depends on the strategy or the, so how some people look for excuses either to do or not do things, right? Like, it's like, are you looking for an excuse to do left side fire, or are you looking for an excuse to not do left side fire, right? Kind of depends on,
The first thing I thought of when Fear Agent opened the map chest in GT was that is an excuse to not climb. I don't have enough keys.
Yeah.
I let the game make my decision for me.
No, that's actually a really good point. Yeah.
I don't hate that, to be clear. I do not hate that, and I have done the same thing before. Because it's like, I don't know, for me, that GT climb, it always feels like such a time sink. And it feels bad to leave, and it feels bad to do. There's no winning.
Yeah, and certainly it doesn't help that like your early time investment, it's like it comes at the end of like the 4 minutes or whatever you do to spend, right? And I'm just kind of perusing the equipment that these guys, that the Tam and Fear have. I mean, maybe outside of the ice rod, like what else do we have? We have a fighter sword. We don't have boots. Like, yeah.
I think we have enough info now to start thinking about what we need for slow mode, right?
Did have the bow, that's true. Oh yeah, and we actually did a map check, or at least Tam did a map check. So
Yeah, we don't have complete knowledge because we don't know if, I guess the big outlier is Trinex. Well, I guess it's not so much the big outlier. If it's Trinex, then we need a Fire Rod. But if it's Meyer, if the last pendant is Meyer, then that's a big key that we have to skip. So.
Yeah, very.
Yeah. So I think
Yeah.
right now the biggest outlier right now is it's the Eastern Palace big key and the remaining information.
Yeah, that's true. Eastern Palace big key is certainly a very notoriously difficult to find big key. Like it's kind of it's the Eastern Palace big key, Duster Palace big key, Meyer big key. I just said Turtle Rock big key. Like incrementally less so for TR big key because I think it locks like the boss and like I don't know, like maybe a handful of things that are behind the big key door. But I mean, like, yeah, it's really nothing. They're all like, yeah, they only lock like 2 things, right? So then, yeah, it just becomes it's basically just you said, you know, it's like the ice rod, you know, +1.
Yeah. So it looks like Tam is about to get the 3rd crystal.
Yeah, right. No, not technically logic. Although you know, at this point, I don't think people can concern themselves too much. You know, with the Hera big key. I think just also like in this case, we had the Ice Palace big key, so it's kind of nice to be able to just go beat the dungeon. But more often than not, you know, you hold out long enough, knowing that ice is a crystal. Without the big key, you just go finish it. You know, 7 checks in there that you can go do.
Yeah. Although, you know, hold your breath on skipping that ice big chest.
Yeah, right. I mean, we have a lot of oxygen tanks for the amount of cold we have. Sometimes we have to go through the sea.
Tam checking vanilla powder now.
Yeah, it certainly does seem like we have certainly like kind of with that bow, like the Tam has definitely gone to town, you know, trying to clean up some dungeons. We have a lot of TR keys all of a sudden. It looks like actually all 4 of them, according to Aria.
Every TR key.
Yeah.
I mean, that's got my attention.
We just kind of need that fire rod. Now, I think we do need, logically, the fire rod, even if Turtle Rock was a pendant because of Skullwoods, but, you know, we have the lamp. They can sequence break it. I know they both can.
Yeah, it's not a terribly hard sequence break. It's just it's a nice, easy lined up. The bomb jump is already lined up for you. You don't have to do any kind of spin shenanigans. It's a really easy skip to do. We're gonna get that green pendant turning. It was a sword.
Oh, nice! It's like a mini ped. Sish. Hey, a second sword though. Always, you know, a sight for sore eyes at this point. Another sword would be kind of nice.
That's progression.
It is, yeah.
More swords.
Okay, you are technically correct, which is the best kind of correct. Need versus want, though, are completely 2 separate things. You know.
Okay. Tam unhappy with that? I guess. Okay.
Is that our 3rd one? Is that our 2nd one?
I believe it's our 2nd.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Okay, well, Tam, with at least Mario, we're gonna do right side, and most likely tile rooms are gonna be 5 more checks.
This feels more like a climb to me.
Tam does have the ability to climb. And while it is not logical, and you know, again, we need all 4 keys at least to get to the end. Tam is able to take all the pot keys and then, you know, get all the way to Molten 2 and beat the dungeon. Now that being said, though, like after all this time, that apparently we've only seen 1 GT small key. I don't know, you know, like maybe Tam won't climb based on that. You know, like, you know, again, he just said, like, let the game make the decision for me. Like, if I haven't seen, you know, even another GT small key, right? It kind of makes things a little bit more shaky.
Okay.
Oh, we're just doing. Okay,
yeah,
we're just doing tower room. Okay. Right, we
Yeah,
don't have fire rod too. Right. That's also a thing.
Yeah, there's no fire rod for right side, so that's why I felt it was more of a
Gotcha.
blind play. But that said, yeah, where are there's got to be some more entrances we're missing. Like, where is Pod? I keep saying that. Where is Pod?
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. And to answer your question, I think we believe what's behind Agatu is Uncle. So Uncle is Secret Passage. By the way, I saw Fear. He did an excellent Ice Rod Landmost fight. But you know, it can't compare to the bow. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. Tam literally just got the Master Sword like, 5 minutes ago. So Castle Tower entrance is not has not been revealed to us yet. I really want to see like that will actually break the barrier because you defeat Aga. Like I want that to be like, I want to be forced, not just like logically even.
Yeah, I would like. That's only happened to me once, and that was when I didn't know that was a thing. So I would love for that to happen again when I know it is a thing.
Yeah, yeah.
I really like what Fear's doing here with Skullwoods. This is another step closer to having our full knowledge, and being an hour 26 and not knowing that feels really bad.
Yeah, no maps. I mean, I don't think like Fear is like anti-map or anything like that. I just think we just haven't picked up that information, right? And then, other than like talking to the bomb shop and like Sahasrara, the only real other way is just to beat the dungeon.
And it's quick. It's right in front of CAC. You have to sequence break it, but that's like we said. It's not difficult. Fear did that with ease.
Yeah.
It's a free check. One step closer to Ped ?
Yeah, question mark. That's right. By the way, though, this fight really sucks without with the hammer. The fight arguably is not even against Mothula; it's against the conveyor belt.
Yeah, the conveyor belt.
Fear.
And oh man, this is my least favorite situation. It's the coward moth situation where Mothula just kind of stays to the top of the room and just hovers near the spikes so that no matter how you hit them, they run into the spikes.
Yeah, and also Fear, he's not coming, the moth is not coming down, right? Yeah.
It's
now
cowardly. There's no honor.
It's right. The good news for Fear is that he only needs 4 hammer hits. The rest of the not good news whatsoever is that we have no idea. Oh my gosh, Fear! Oh,
okay.
Wonderful survivor job.
I was gonna say there is a case. I don't know exactly what the timing is, but if Moth stays alive for a certain amount of time, then Moth goes berserk and starts flying.
Yeah, yeah. You ever see you usually think Link or Usain Bolt, the red guards with the blue guards move fast, actually multiply that by 2. It is absolutely bonkers. That Moth has a.
When you play rando, you very rarely see it because a lot of times you're dropping into Moth with either hammer or your fire rod to make it really quick, or tempered or gold sword. But if you're going in fighter sword, low health, so you're trying to play it safe, that really sneaks up on you.
Oh yeah, for sure. Right, and this is kind of the flip side, I guess, of of being able to sequence break things, right? You're able to do so, but it's kind of are you really able to do so, right? You can't get to Moth. It's just like in Swamp, we use Specky Clip, when you have a sword, you can get into Swamp without a hammer, without a sword. But it's do you want to? Have you thought about the consequences, And suddenly, you're on this, fight that you probably didn't necessarily expect, that could, and then, if it especially goes, off the rails, suddenly you're not very happy, and you wish that you maybe had held out for longer.
Well, here it is. Here's the climb.
This is the climb that Tam is physically able to do that Fear is not able to do because Fear already spent his key. The one key, apparently, that only exists.
Which means Tam will likely be able to at least finish the climb, but do you is the question. Because
maybe?
There's no these keys are just not around. Do you recognize that and say, if your mini Helmer room ends up being the Eastern Palace Big and the Fire Rod, say, then, well, that's a bad example because in that situation you're basically going.
Yeah, well, you're certainly correct in that there could be GT keys here up on the climb, right? I think the mini helmet chests don't require like there's 0 small keys, right? Because all you need is a bow and the GT
The
pin.
big key, and the
Yeah,
big key
mhm.
and a fire
Right.
source. Yeah.
Oh yeah, right, and a fire sword. Okay, yes, you're right. But no small keys at least. So
So that makes me think that those first 2 chests are going to be the big ones.
hmm Yeah, and it's certainly like very likely that Tam, Tam is certainly much more incentivized to do this because like Tam can has the option when they get up there to beat as you said beat the dungeon, beat Act 2, whether they want to or not. It's going to be a little bit more questionable. Fear though, because he doesn't have any keys, like you're not going to climb 4 minutes of your time in order to just to basically check 2 checks.
Yep. So if this ends up being the answer, then you can definitely point to that map check swaying decision making.
Yeah,
And,
for sure.
Like even then, like I mean, I don't hate the play. It'd be the wrong play, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's not a good one.
The only right play is the one that leads you to the progressive item in the right order. That is extremely vague, and nobody really knows how to do. Maybe you can stumble upon it by accident, but other than that, like every other play, I think it's just is just considered to be wrong because either less efficient or it's just leads you to nothing.
And that's why rando is stressful, is because
That's
90%
right.
of the time you're making the wrong play.
Yeah, you just have the hope that you make the less wrong play, right? Or you make the same wrong play that your opponent did.
Good job on Tam's side, remembering that they don't have fire rods, so they had to walk through all the torches.
Good.
All right, here's the moment of truth. What's up here, Claros?
What's up here? Boots? I want boots. They don't have to be sexy. They can be like sexy on like 1 foot.
Ooh.
Okay, they were at least red.
Okay, I'm inclined to believe that there's nothing up here then. Well, maybe not nothing, but like that's all that's in logic up here, right?
So far, yeah.
Well, okay.
But that is the Eastern Palace Vicky, which is definitely so it looks like the climb at least is required for Tam. And I think actually even if they I think the Tam would probably want to finish by now, because I think Chat was even talking about this earlier. Like this will also land them on the pyramid, in which they can also then check the castle tower entrance with their master sword.
Ooh, yeah, that's a nice little sequence there. And then hopefully
And red mail.
Rewarded
Everything
pod.
up here is red, by the way. Red heart, red rupee, red mail, yellow key. I guess we can pretend it's red.
Yeah,
It's a big key.
I was already pretending.
Okay, perfect. Okay, that's crystal number. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 for fear. So I think everything is almost no. So fear is 1 crystal ahead of Tam, because Tam hasn't beaten Skullwoods yet.
Oh, that's correct.
But Tam has the ability to beat another dungeon that Fear right now does not, which is Eastern.
And it's a quick one. Because it's right next to Eastern in Kakariko.
Yeah, but right now, like, I mean, but you again, you've mentioned this before. Like, where is another GT small key? Fear needs 1 GT small key to climb.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, in addition to like a bunch more to actually like to make things logical. But I mean, like he needs 1 physical one to climb. Like he can't get much further. Now, I guess like that being said, if he's willing to go up there just for 3 checks that he can get, which is how far, like the pre-Moldon chest, which is where, like Eastern Palace big key is, like he can't do that on 0 keys. I just don't think that he would.
Have we seen the crystal roller room check from either?
We have not. I don't think Tam has actually been back here, and Fear this is his first time, because why? Because they probably want to try and hold up for Fire Rod after they got the Ice Rod. That's my guess.
Yeah, I'm wondering if this is going to be a GT small key.
That would be quite good for Fear.
Oh, it's a pod key.
Well, that's also good for Fear.
If we can ever find pod.
Really? Murph, what do you think about Pyramid Fairy?
Oh boy.
I mean,
it's still not in logic. We need
true. We need
the
a couple
Hera
of
big for it.
and a bunch of DT keys. But you know, when has logic ever stopped us from doing things?
It's the convenience factor. Logic keeps me from doing the slow checks, but
Okay.
if it's a fast check that's out of logic, then I'll do that whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, that's true.
something like the big bomb is a pretty big time commitment. Yeah,
That's actually true. I guess like the bomb shop was somewhere in Kakariko.
yes.
Oh, fear.
Sorry, no, the bomb shop is that potion shop.
Oh, potion. Right. That's right. Yeah, you mentioned this before. Okay. Well, yeah, okay. It is a non-trivial amount of time commitment. You're correct.
Was that a GT small bomb?
It was a GT small in the vanilla Vicky chest of Turtle Rock. So that's very required for Fear. Maybe this will kind of get him thinking more about GT. You know?
I mean, that could be all Fear needs. Maybe Fear's hating the idea of going up there, but it's just like, if I'm going up there, I'm not going up there without being able to complete it.
Mm-hmm.
Is that our third?
That is our third skull with small key. Mm-hmm.
Right.
But that's also locked behind, 4 GT small keys. And yeah, so not that I think it really has much of a, well, it has logical implications, but I'm not sure they're relevant.
Yeah, I would expect.
Because
I would expect Tam to go into Skullwoods after this. It's a quick free dungeon. You get yourself some more dungeon knowledge. Probably a crystal. There's a 2 out of 3 chance that it's a crystal. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. So I think all we need is one more piece of knowledge about the last pendant, and therefore the last 2 crystals. And then we have, and at least we'll know definitively what we're looking for. But I think right now, certainly, we still need that fire rod. That's going to be true whether or not. Well, actually, no. Is that true? Yeah. Because Skullwoods and Turtle Rock are crystals, or are out there.
Oh yeah, Oh wait, Turtle Rock is not a crystal. We don't know if that's a crystal yet.
Right. I'm just saying, like, logically speaking, right? Like, you need the fire rod for, like, you hard require the fire rod for Trinex, but you logically still need the fire rod for.
Yeah, but in terms of what our runners are looking for now, I think it's just either or fire rod or Meyer Big Key. So, like, I think 20 minutes ago I was saying that there was, too many things to count on one hand, and now suddenly.
Did you grow a number of fingers?
Yes, that is what happens.
Okay.
You would think it would be that we found a lot more items, but no, it is a mutation of my hand.
I mean, this is rando. Like, I would not be surprised if the things that we needed suddenly grew as opposed to shrunk based on, how we've been playing the scene. Kind of interesting okay. Oh no. Wait, what? Did Tam get hit? And then we still got... We were just able to kind of, like, go on the same screen, like, basically with no consequence? Okay. Maybe it's like an inside fake flipper?
I think it might be an underworld situation.
Okay, yeah. Gotcha. Alright, Ricky is also thinking that it's underworld.
There's TR?
Oh, Fire?
Actually, Hera.
Disgusting.
Well, now you know what that means. Now that's the big bomb logic.
Do we need some GT small keys as well?
Oh
No. That's only well, actually no. How many GT small? I think it's 3, right? Yeah. Okay.
But it's it's close enough that I'm thinking big bomb now.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's very fair. Tam's kind of taking like the other side of Turtle Rock, getting all these pokies, and again, like actually, and one thing is that Fear hasn't turned in his green pendant either. Oh no, he has. Never mind.
Yeah,
I'm looking at the tracker for Master Sword. Okay, where's Fear going?
Fear's going to potion shop.
Good point, because he turned the mushroom. Yes.
I took a little bit of notes.
This is actually kind of a good opportunity for him too, because yeah, like just in case, because right now, while we're pretty safe and we have low health, we don't really have boots, which also kind of really help in terms of like defense and offense. Don't really have like a major like I was gonna say firepower in terms of like we don't actually have the fire rod. However, you know, like just our offensive power just hasn't been very strong. No silvers either.
Yeah, this is definitely not a Ganon fight that you're looking forward to, but it's one that you will begrudgingly do.
That's right. I mean, you know, sometimes you can't just go spend, you know, 10 minutes go looking for silvers or, you know, or tempered. I mean, maybe if you think that you have like a significant advantage over your opponent, then, you know, if you, or how good you're feeling about the state of the race. But I mean, like, you know, you mentioned like Tam and Fear are, I don't think you really give any of these, either one or the other, like an edge, like that much time.
They're too good to spot.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Talking about Big Bomb. This is what Tam's doing. Maybe we'll be finding Pod.
I'm like, it's either Pod or it's Boots, right? It's got to be something that gives you more entrances. I mean, it could be Fire Rod to back of Skullwoods to get you the same kind of thing. But
it's true. It's true. What is with? I believe Meyer entrance was Ether. That could potentially get us another entrance. But we have to go find Ether first.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. So Fear is climbing, which is quite good for him. Most likely he's gonna do the same thing that Tam did. And then he's gonna go to so Tam's gonna develop a bomb. Tam has not defeated Skullwoods yet, so it's gonna be still like Fear's gonna keep at least like a momentary crystal lead over Tam. But I mean, you know, I think you mentioned this before. Tam's the Skullwoods is gonna be pretty fast follow.
Yeah, they're both sitting at 4 crystals now.
Oh right, because Tam did Eastern. Yeah. Hey, look, we found Pod, and it's a crystal. Okay. We are gonna be able to get everything. Not logically, but we are gonna be able to get everything.
Yeah, and we probably will get everything. We might see the back first from Tam. There's our Fire Rod. So yeah, so now if you're Tam, what do? Do you just defeat Trinex and defeat Skullwoods and say, hey, I'm in go mode? Do you gamble like that?
What do you think about just leaving after Shooter Room? Like, how bad is it to come back to Pyramid Fairy? Like, would you just go to beat Trinex to see if that's the crystal or pendant? And if it's a crystal, then are you just done?
Yeah, I don't know. I probably wouldn't. I'd probably still... I don't know. I feel like I'm pretty conservative when it comes to this game. So I'd feel really bad about Trinex being a pendant. But it's one of those things that you're thinking... I guess it would depend on how good I felt my routing was. I think if I felt I was doing really well, or if I felt like I was doing really poorly, then I'd probably go straight for Trinex.
Okay.
If I didn't feel I had any inkling of where I was, I'd probably continue to play it safe.
Okay, I think that's fair. Right. And for what it's worth, while the chances probably aren't, you know, that high, we could in fact find a Meyer big key on Helma as well. Like that is a valid location for the Meyer big key to be in which case then we could just, you know, then I think Tam is in for sure go mode, right? Go beats Mothula, and then then Tam would have to pick a dungeon to go beat.
Yep. And then suffers through your silverless Master Sword Ganon fight.
We have faith in the bosses. They do drop an item. That's like 2 more items potentially.
You're fighting to stay on.
No, go back here. Okay. Yeah. I hope this is gonna be enough time. These torches are like, they last longer than I think they do. No, they don't. Never mind. Yeah, I think Fear got a little bit caught up in like the fire bar, unfortunately, and then he had to go back for this lamp thing again, and yeah.
Well, that was certainly not a Meyer big key.
It's big.
Sorry, it is big, and it's yellow.
Yes, Flippeel's not watching, right? Like this doesn't get like a team member banned or anything, right?
It depends on the team member.
Oh, okay. What? Okay, so Flippeel gets the Mirror Shield. Does he like disqualify himself from captain?
Well, I think if our only survivor gets the Mirror Shield, they get a break.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
right. Fear's about to find the bad news, I guess.
I mean, well, okay. I mean, we'd ask what Fear was maybe thinking about regarding the GT climb, like, or what his early thoughts about using the small key, like like basically when he first got to GT. I don't really know if he would have been inclined to climb earlier, even if he had the small key. I don't know. Like,
I'm also just realizing it looks like Tam is going straight for is playing as if they're a go mode right now.
if this is a crystal, I mean, Tam is actually in as you mentioned, begrudgingly in go mode.
Yep. Or who knows? Like maybe the Meyer big key is here. The bosses have items.
Yeah, that's actually hilarious, actually.
Or maybe it's on. No, not on Ped. We still don't have our flippers.
That amazing. Where are our things? Like just looking at the tracker, right? Oh, okay, good point. Good point. We skipped 13 items there.
It's probably there's probably boots in the back of pod, and then the dam is locked behind one of the bonkable.
Yeah. Okay.
And
yeah,
then,
we had the.
And then our Meyer big key that's required is going to be on left side swamp.
Left side swamp, left side mire. There are plenty of places that thing can be. Yeah, but kind of like looking at the tracker. I mean, I am really sad about the fact that we don't have any boots for bordering on 2 hours by now. But I mean, like even no book, no flute, no.
Oh, that is go mode. Tam doesn't know it.
Sorry, what is go mode?
Trinex is a crystal.
I was like, I remember seeing the compass drop, and I'm like, what does the compass tell us in cross keys? Ah, yes, it is in fact go mode. Okay, Tam does not know this because Tam has not beaten Swamp yet. So, not Swamp, Skull. Okay, I think that's where Tam is going immediately.
Yeah, I think if they're willing to do an interview, I think the two questions that we have is for Fear is the GT climb, and for Tam, it would be leaving everything out of the pod.
Yeah, I mean, this is the kind of, I think, survivor play, that you might have to try and cut a corner or two. For what it's worth, like, yeah, it's a non-trivial amount of time to go back to pod, which is Pyramid Fairy entrance. It's not like we have like something convenient to kind of get us there. However, though,
the amount
exactly, yeah. Like, right, so you mentioned like the back of pod, even like the front of the rest of the pod, it's 12 checks that Tam left in the dungeon. However, though, like, I mean, that is multiple minutes of time commitment that you're spending. So,
and it's gonna pay off.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
This is quite fortunate.
That was, speaking of fortunate, I don't know how Moth managed to dodge all the spikes in that corner.
Yeah. But I almost wonder if it's like a psychological thing as well. I mean, not only for like the player, but also it's like we suddenly have the fire rod, and like I don't know even how much like Tam used the fire rod. It's just like the fight seemed much easier.
All right.
It was also the Master Sword.
Are we ready for the longest fight?
Okay. Do boots help in the Ganon fight? For Samaria or for Master Sword?
Only for running away, but I don't think they help.
Okay, we do have Ren Mail for what it's worth, so we don't need any more. Like, we don't have to run away anymore. We can just literally just tank the damage. Okay.
Yeah,
but I was
16 hearts, red mail. Yeah, you're right.
Okay, all right. The Tam also knows a lot. Like, Tam is probably like among like the top, I don't know, like 5 people or whatever in the community who knows what to do with Samaria, even without glitches.
I would think that more runners in the community should know how to do Samaria Ganon now. I feel like it's the tech's been out there, and I feel like I end up using it so much more often than I expect.
I believe you're correct. Over the course of time, right? The skill ceiling in the community, or rather the skill floor, even I think has risen. Just like average like skill level. Like, yeah, you think used to be lot of people weren't comfortable with Samara, like with Master Sword Ganon, you know, and it would be actually like quite like the difference maker, certainly, you know, between like Master Sword and Tempered Fight. More and more people are, you know, just with more time and they're getting more experience with it. I did also hear like on Fast ROM, it's a little bit easier to manage because there's going to be less lag in the fight.
Actually, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. There is still a little bit of lag in phase 2 when all the fire bats come out. But I remember that being a real pain in slow ROM. So fast ROM definitely gets a winner's checkbox there.
I also, by the way, missed where the silvers were. I don't know if you caught the text box.
I was not even paying attention.
I was meant to paying attention or trying to see in this case where they were, but you know, Turtle Rock. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I'm just vibing.
Our
here.
chat's awesome.
They must have been in the big chest then, because I don't think we ever found that entrance.
Yeah, big chest. I don't think we ever did roller room either, because we had a pretty late fire rod.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Fear's gonna finish up his crystal relatively soon. Okay, but I think really it does seem like the main difference though is kind of like the time at which I guess like Fear decided to climb, because you know so many things were kind of locked behind like the red crystals, right? In which case that means
you called it at like what, the 10-minute mark? Like, oh, what about that big bomb, huh?
Yeah, we saw the big bomb dude, and we saw the bomb shop, and we saw Easter.
We saw Easter. We saw Hera. All right,
we see.
In chat.
Yeah, we see a survivor Tam. Big GG's. Fear, I believe, has acknowledged the finish of time. I believe that's why Fear has decided to stand still for a bit. Big GG's though to Fear, you know, for also basic, you know, like playing out this race. Again, like I think that Fear did play well. Like he made a lot of very good decisions. I felt maybe a little bit of a slog because no boost, but it does seem like the major thing was kind of like he put off the climb for too long.
And if Fear does grace us with an interview, we'll find out if it was because of the map chest check.
Yeah, right. Because that physically barred him from climbing. Now, whether or not it actually it mentally barred him from climbing, that's a good question. So,
I think it's more meant like you still would have been able to get that chest going up there with 0 keys, or sorry, with just with 0 keys. You would have been able to get
with 0 extra keys, yeah, because you can always kill the mini Helma and to get that, but you can't get Moldarm chest,
yeah, but. Like that's just a mental decision that you make, right? It's like I'm not gonna sink all this time into climbing GT just to stop at the mini Moldorm, or just to stop at, you know, the room before Moldorm, and then potentially have to climb again. Like that's not a call that you make. I feel like.
Not willingly.
Until you're forced to.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I think it has happened before. I mean, like, you know, one of the bigger examples is like you don't want to climb without a hook shot, right? And then of course your hook shot's just upstairs, and then you're just mad at the game. But I think also like I've seen other times when, you know, unfortunately some people I think forget that they need another small key, or they don't realize they don't have a small key before they climb. They're like, well, okay, I guess I'm just not getting, you know, the Moldorm chest or something, you know, and then that's it.
Well, it looks like we have Tam joining us from Don't Forget to Check Your Sexy Boots. Good race, Tam.
Yo, Tam, GG's.
Thank you.
What'd you think about the speed?
Oh, man, I felt like I was doing nothing right for so long. It was pretty tricky seed, it felt like. I was like... I sort of made the call at some point that it's Renmaya and I didn't need to do it. Then I did it anyway.
So I think one of the big questions I had for you was, so we did not know the crystal pendant status of Meyer, did we?
I didn't.
Okay.
I don't think so. I don't think we ever got a map. Like nothing showed up.
Yeah.
Um,
So the call
sorry.
to leave pod directly after winning and then going straight to TR and Skullwoods. What made you decide to make that decision rather than at least continuing out searching for stuff in pod?
Yeah, so first thing, I just learned that the boots are on bed. Funny joke.
Oh no.
Oh,
Um,
well, that's
yeah.
sad.
So, yeah, I mean, Fire Red was like 2/3 go mode, right? And if it's not go mode, then I have to find the Maya Big, and I just felt that I would take my chance. I figured it was pretty easy to get back. I was gonna leave a portal, but then I remembered that Turtle Rock would put me in the Dark World, and I figured it would be slower to try to Death Warp and keep that portal there. But it was like partly feeling a lot of frustration about not finding things for a while and just like praying, honestly.
Yeah. It was
Were you gonna
definitely...
go? Yeah. Oh, sorry, go
Sorry.
ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, yeah. When I was thinking about it as you were going into pod, I put it as like it's a play that you make either if you feel very very far behind or very far ahead, because it's either a play that you need to make in order to stay in the race, or it's a play that you feel like you're able to make because you made a lot of good decisions. And I don't think any random player in the history of this game has ever been like, I've made every correct decision in this
Yeah.
and I feel good doing this.
Definitely not on a seed like this. Part of it was that I had made the climb, and it was like, I figure if the answer is pod, then I felt, I'm not very good at putting it into words, but it felt better for me to leave. Like, I just pray that fear would somehow fall clear pod and not having the Eastern big, and then save some of the time that I lost beating GT, but hopefully spend more in pod. I don't think I was gonna go immediately back, but it would not have taken very long. I was gonna do TR Roller and maybe GT. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I think that's pretty reasonable. And the fact that you can get to like Trinex, at least as a, you know, like if it's a pendant, at least you know to go back to things, and if it's not, then like you're done, just like this case. So, congratulations on surviving.
Yeah, I should have done Tunnel Rock after Skullwoods, but I was being stupid.
Turtle Rock after Skullwoods, as in you beat Skullwoods first.
Yeah, just so that like I know straight away if I have to do Roller.
Oh, okay, I see. That makes sense.
Oh yeah, that's true.
See, this is the big brain Tam plays that nobody thinks of.
In my head, I was like, oh yeah, I'll just walk from Turtle Rock to Skull, but I underestimated how far apart Turtle Rock and Skullwoods were.
I mean,
So I ended up just fluting anyway.
it's pretty easy to do that when you have no boots for the entire seed.
Yeah.
We were like nowhere close to Ped, sadly. I mean, like to get the boots. We didn't know where the flippers were. We didn't know where the dam was.
Yeah, maybe I should have been wrong about the crystals so that I could have gotten a pendant.
Yeah, I guess I'm trying to think of where the dam could have been. I guess maybe Ice Palace or Mire entrance.
I did ice. It couldn't be Boots entrances, obviously. The main thing was Dark Shopping Mall, which was where I was going next.
I guess yeah, those were. I guess like well, I assume maybe the flippers are just in the back of pod somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a little unsure about flippers because part of me was like, I should hunt these down to put entrances in logic, but I was also really worried that there was just like a connector to Dark Shopping Mall, and I was like, you know, I kind of missed missed out on getting some items by following that and finding like pod or whatever. But I was really out of logic for a lot of this seed, which didn't feel very good.
The pearl was pretty interesting, for what it's worth.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah,
logically.
That was what clued me into Myths in Maya, because the only way I saw it being possible was that one of the connectors took me to the Maya area, or that the Myths showed up if a connector didn't. And I think I exhausted my early connectors. That might not be true.
I think one of the biggest decisions that fearagent made that led to you being able to take the win was the delay of the GT climb. They opted to spend their key on the map chest, and I mean, I think it was a very reasonable play because it happened at like 20 minutes, and you surely you're not going to go an hour and a half without finding another GT small key. But unfortunately, when he did, it was the TR lava chest. It was locked behind all 4 TR keys, and it was really just kind of a nightmare getting up there.
Yeah, I was really mad when I did GT and then immediately got the small key, which was like a little bit the reason that I climbed. Yeah, I have no idea how to handle GT when you don't have keys, so like I didn't feel good about what I did. It worked, but like I still didn't feel good about it.
If you watch this back, there's going to be a lot of questions about the commentators not exactly knowing the GT key logic. But
Yeah, very little of it was in logic.
Yeah.
Even still, I only have 2 keys.
Yeah, the 3rd key was on was in the lava chest, right?
I have lava chest.
You have lava chest? Oh no. Then
Sounds like, I don't know, I might have been having some issues with my stream, but I did find Turtle Rock left, so I did the middle checks.
Okay. Well, dang.
Yeah, Turtle Rock was weighing over my head for so long, because I chose not to go through Chomps, because I had 2 keys at the time. Then I found the next 2 very quickly. And I also found Lamp to put going backwards in logic as well. That did not feel very good, that whole situation.
I think maybe we were just supposed to find flippers or something somewhere. Maybe not in the back of pod, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if Fear did, like, all of Maya, because I only did the 2 checks that were in logic to me at the time. Maybe they're in there.
He did 4 checks, 2 checks. He did go into Mire. He got the mids. He got bridge chests. He got the ice rod. He got the mids. Did he do map chests? Maybe. He didn't do left side, and he didn't do. He didn't do the big chest and the back. Sorry, I'll have to go scrub the VOD for that.
Yeah.
But he didn't get anything out that you didn't already get. So, thank you by the way for both ammos. That was quite good.
Yeah.
Early 3.
No, it was a 4. I blew it.
Oh, was it 4? Oh, I thought it was.
Yeah.
Well, it was still quite good.
Yeah. No, I was really confused about where
Well,
flippers or Arabic.
down to the go.
Yeah, 2 down. I do not feel optimistic about surviving.
You
I
are a
didn't even
survivor, Sam. Don't worry.
I didn't feel very optimistic about this race. Obviously, fearagent is so good. Like, everyone on the team is so scary. Like, even imagining winning against one of them is tough, but winning against 4 of them is, like, impossible.
There's
So
no
I
free
guess,
weeks.
yeah, I guess I'll just try to have fun, maybe win, but if I lose, it's my teammates' fault for being dead weight.
That's what got me through the Rumble stage.
Okay, maybe one of my teammates isn't dead weight.
won't say who. I'm just
I already
saying.
burned my
yeah,
bridges
go.
with Flippio when I used my shield.
Well, Worf is defending you though. He said that you can't disqualify anybody on the team if you're the only survivor. So
Oh,
you're
yeah,
pretty
maybe.
safe.
Yeah, you get an exception. But you know, if Flip was watching, he'd probably want you to reset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, I mean, big congratulations tonight, Tam. So yeah, you mentioned there are 2 more survivors on the opposing team, which is Gannis Gone Wild and Shireen. No, I guess I'm sure you guys will figure out what mode is potentially to be rolled as well, and then whatever you guys want to schedule.
Yeah,
Good
I
luck.
did not get rolled yet, so look forward to that.
I'm trying to think of what is not eligible to be rolled. I believe it's casual boots is not eligible.
Yeah, casual boots, AD keys, and cross keys,
Yeah.
as well as spoiler and open. And I hope we play the shop to key drop one, because I haven't tried that yet.
Yeah, I learned today that it was apparently retro keys,
Universal keys, yeah. Mhm.
universal keys. Yeah.
Yeah, and a standard start. Mhm.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Oh,
that sounds fun.
That's yeah, it's yeah. I talked to Zaf. I'm sure he has all the more information that you need. I also think that swordless is on the table for your next potential match.
Oh,
Tam said they wanted to have fun though, so
Yes, that is true.
I have good taste, and I enjoy swordless, so
Throw in a couple extra rods in there too.
yes.
I see Fear in the waiting room. Is he coming after all? I'm gonna see if I can pull Fear in. Awesome, I can pull Fear in. Yo, Fear, GG's.
Hey, GG's.
GG's
GG.
Fear.
GG's Tam.
Yeah.
That was I didn't have any fun. Sorry. Sorry, that was
I'm sorry. No. I mean, like, well, I don't know if you saw the credits on at least on Tam stream.
Yeah, I saw
like,
boots
yeah,
on bed. Cool.
Yeah.
On bed.
Yeah, I'm sorry. But I think the biggest difference we were talking about this a little bit earlier was so like when you first got to GT and then you had a GT small key, which Tam did not, for the record. Like you got your hookshot in Hope Room and then you went left and then you opened map chest. Was that like?
Yeah, I knew it was a risk, but it was so early, and I'm like, there's gonna be.
Mhm.
I'm gonna find another key, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'll find another one. And then it wasn't until like 2 hours in that I found another.
Did find
Another
another
one. And so then
Yes.
I was like, okay, now I guess I can climb. But it was so, I mean, it just felt like every decision I made was like the decision I should have made like after I did something else. It was pretty punishing. I felt like, I don't know.
I also would have opened the door if I had the key, but I just did the GT entrance first, so I didn't have it.
Yeah, I figured, so it was like, just clear the rest of the mountain. I was like, I'll, maybe I'll get a hook shot or something and I can clear more of it. And I got a key, and so I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And so I don't know, that felt all good. And it was, again, like super early, right? Like we had flute and all that stuff pretty early. So I don't know. I honestly didn't think too much of it because again, the game was so early, and I figured there'll be more when is it hard to find GT keys, right? Like,
Yeah. I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't even think anything about using that key 20 minutes into a seed.
yeah, and so the seed just kept going, and I just kept finding nothing, and I just didn't know. I felt confused. Like I found the mitts pretty early, I think, until all of it. I feel like the mitts, I was kind of chasing the logic to get that moon pearl, because I'm like, well, if the mitts are gonna lock that moon pearl, and they got to be here somewhere, which will kind of open up the entire seed. So it's different than if it's like the lamp, right? Like I'll find the lamp later, but mitts unlocks a bunch. So I figured chasing the mitts wasn't a bad idea.
Yeah. And unfortunately, it seemed like everything was behind that Eastern Palace big key. We did.
Yeah, I never even found pod. I'm guessing I was on the way to it, but
Yeah,
Mhm, you were.
it was the big bomb entrance, so you were absolutely on the way.
I think the hard part also was I didn't know if I needed Fire Rod or the Meyer Big. And so I think I was still over clearing. Like I just cleared too much. Yeah, I mean, when to climb GT is like the bane of my existence in this mode, and I just can never get it right. Like do I climb it earlier or do I climb it late? And if I climb it early, it's nothing. When I climb it late, there it is. But in this case, I didn't really have an option to climb. Is it unreasonable to climb without a key? I don't know. I don't think so, right? Like
I don't think so either. No.
I remember on comms halfway through the race praising you for being like, I hate climbing, so I use that key out of principle, so I don't have to do it. And then it's like, oh no, but that's the answer.
Yeah. Oh, and Tam's really good. Like I knew that I couldn't last locate against Tam and hope to win, and sure enough, last locate. So not surprising. Tam's a really good runner, but doesn't run a lot of cross keys. I was looking at the race time through James FNX's async thing. I was trying to find a race that Tam did that was cross keys, and all of them were co-op cross keys.
Yeah.
But no, not a lot. So I did a seed that Tam played last cross keys tournament. So last year from 2023, and the seed was awful, and it was also on the old ROM, so it wasn't fast ROM. So that was really interesting as well. So that was the last time Tam played regular cross keys that I could find on race time, at least.
Yeah, the tournament makes me firmer. I have to play it.
And then I did a seed that Werfjig just did as a practice today, and holy crap, that seed was awful too.
I'm sorry, Fear.
Wait, what did I do?
Maybe I think it sounds the mode. It's the mode, not the.
The seed, your cross key seed that you just raced for this week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I also last locationed the hair basement, which
Fire
had
Rod?
the Fire Rod. Yeah, which was kind of my go mode today. So that I did that race today, Werfjig. I feel sorry for you.
Yeah. It happens.
It's just so frustrating.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I will say. I'm sorry. Go for it.
I was just gonna say that's rando though.
I mean, that feels like that's why I don't play anymore. That's because I can't handle it. I just can't handle all this last location. It's so frustrating.
There are no survivors, only casualties.
Yeah.
Right. I will say though that for this particular race, like it might seem maybe like more like lopsided than maybe it should, because like I said, like it's just that the climb that you were not able to make, it literally just led to like everything else, right? Like because what Tam did after climbing, beat Eastern, which got you Big Bomb, which you were gonna do, and then that got you Pod, and then like and then Pod Shooter Room had Fire Rod. So it's just like you just literally just finished, right? So it's like what were you, a couple crystals out? I mean, like, but literally those crystals came in like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So
So you actually weren't that far behind Tam. Like you were a couple dungeons, but Tam literally just went into Pod, Shooter Room, beat Helmasaur, and then decided I'm just gonna rush dungeons.
Yeah.
Okay.
And TR and Skullwoods happened to be the two crystals that they needed. So
Yeah, I think I would have done the same, because I wasn't sure. I already done Skullwoods without the Fire Rod, and so if I got that Fire Rod, I probably would have rushed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
the Boston gun and then Turtle Rock, and then if I'd not, then go right back to Pod, I guess would probably be the play.
Yeah.
But
I had no idea what I was going to do if Maya was a crystal. Just panic, probably.
You'd play for another 30 minutes without boots.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, boots on Ped, come on. Like, I barely play this game. Why does it even punish me? Like, come on, just give me some boots, please.
It's because you barely play that you need to play longer the times that you do play.
I guess so.
Well, Shireen and GGW will carry on in your steed. You still have 2 more survivors on your team.
Yeah, but well, I mean, Shireen's free, so Tam will beat Shireen. That's for sure. And then GGW's a toss up. Like obviously GGW's have been he carried us into the brackets, so that will be tough. But I kid about Shireen. I like to give him a hard time, but I mean that's tough. That's kind of I felt okay. I didn't want to lose, but I don't feel terrible because Tam still has to beat Shireen and GGW. That's scary.
Yeah, I don't think it's happening.
I mean, it's definitely possible. It's not. I wouldn't
Maybe.
put it out of the realm of possibility.
I do think that like everyone's kind of at a level where like the margin of victory or advantage is just like so razor thin, right?
Yeah.
Just a couple positions here and there, and then you're never gonna out execute the other person, and like basically use that as your your base. But I mean, this is rando, right? This is why we play.
Yeah.
That's why there's a chance for both Tam and GW and Sheree to win. So.
Yeah, there's not enough to gain from out executing at this level to overshadow the differences in like routing choices and I guess a little bit of luck.
What are you hoping for as far as modes, Tam?
Oh,
I said before I kind of wanted the drop till you key drop mode. 'cause I
Okay,
haven't
that's the
played it
one
yet.
that my team is avoiding because that's what
You
I
hate
played.
it? Yeah.
So,
Oh, right.
I think what we vetoed spoiler and you vetoed open, right?
Okay, yeah.
And so cross keys is out, and I think that's it. It could be any of the other ones, right?
I think it's
Could
the
be.
last three.
Last three.
Yeah.
Randomizer and inverted are still open, which I'm not happy about.
Oh, did you say Enemizer? Oh, Enemizer was the second rule.
Yeah, Shireen
Yeah.
just raced Randomizer, so
But that was game 2, I think, right?
I
Like, that
don't
was the second one rolled.
I can't remember.
It was the second one rolled because
Okay.
Flip and I argued. We
Because
didn't
they
argue,
immediate-
but there was a
Shireen
long-
immediately got mad about missing out 80 keys.
I got mad about missing out on cross keys.
We should have survived.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Somehow you killed me again.
Well, thanks to the restream. Sorry, it wasn't as close. Of a
It was
race as
actually
it
quite
would've been,
close.
but-
I mean, I thought like I said, it was just I think it really just came down to the climb. Is all. I didn't think you were very, very far off at all.
Yeah. It wasn't as lopsided as it seems given crystal count.
I appreciate that, but it feels like that when Tam is finished and I still haven't even found pod. I know it's close because then I just gotta get.
You
fire
literally
on,
just finished
but-
Eastern, right? And you
Yeah.
literally had the big bomb like in your
Yeah.
possession at the potion shop, right? That's where
Yeah.
you were going to next, right? You would have found pod in like 30 seconds. So
Yeah.
you just need a Tam to like stand at the bridge for a little bit longer. Tam.
Did you get a tempered sword at least or silvers?
Those were in Turtle Rock. So I didn't do roller room or big chest.
No.
Yeah.
No,
I didn't do the big chest. I didn't do or the two firelocked ones. I didn't do in the front either. So
No sword.
lame.
It was very stressful.
Terrible seed. Terrible seed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're done, Fear. Don't worry. You don't have to touch the thing ever again.
I think that's the best thing about this tournament. I've raced 3 times in 6 weeks, so that's about
Very
my
chill.
pace.
Very
Yeah.
chill.
Just get knocked out and let everyone else do everything. That's how it works.
GW are ready to roll.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
thanks again, and thanks for the restream. GG's Tam. Good luck, and yeah, talk to y'all later.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks,
GG.
Fear.
And thanks for the restream.
Thanks for joining
thanks,
us.
Tam. Yeah, and thank you so much, Arya, for tracking. One heck of a feat to be able to track 2 people in cross keys. Thank you so much. Very like eagle-eyed the entire time, responsive. Thank you so much. Always a pleasure being able to have you around to help us track. Just making a viewer in, commentator experience like much better. So thank you so much. I want to super thank CSR, Zinedine for setting up everything, and then of course Ricky for taking over. I did not personally think that there were a lot of high hopes for this restream to happen because it didn't seem like there were any availability, but last minute, they pulled through. So thank you so much. Really do appreciate this. Worf, thanks for joining.
Yeah, a lot of fun. I had too much fun to pay too much attention to the race.
No, I mean that's the fun part too. I mean, I personally really like being able to see like teammates like being able to commentate for their own teammates, right? It really gives a lot more of like a personal feel, right? Like, and given how much I think like you've Zeldaed with Tam, right? This is giving a lot more insight to how things are. So.
It was a it was a lot of fun co-commenting with you, and I'm glad that you reached out.
Yeah. So yeah. Oh yeah. We'll be cheering on for Tam. You know, to survive. Of course, GW and Shireen. They've got their work cut out for them. So. Yeah. But certainly we'll be looking for those on the schedule whenever you guys are ready. Yeah, and then all right. So then just kind of like close things out. Ricky has said in chat that there is a Twilight Princess any percent tournament run, Wolf Dash 4. Main looks like losers bracket round 1, Simikins versus the guy downstairs. That is on ZSR in about 35 minutes. So go get a drink or something and then come straight back. Looks like tomorrow is there are a couple of Twilight Princess runs as well. Tournament 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. Looks like one Majora's Mask randomizer as well, and then oh that's right, because it's the first Saturday of the month, AD RMG for Link to the Past, all dungeons is also at 4 p.m. Eastern, and then looks like Skyward Sword randomizer. So lots of stuff going on at ZSR. So thank you all so much. Have a good rest of your night, and then we'll see you in about 35 minutes for Twilight Princess.
Have a good night.